Basketball. Basketball. Basketball.
Basketball is back, Jack. Time for our favorite winter sport. The summertime is over, so let's head down to the court. Time for the tip-off. Give me fast breaks on the attack. Will you shoot a three or take it to the rack? Basketball is back, Jack. It's a dream shake down in the post, or a killer cross you love the most. When the offense tries to run and gun, is it man-to-man or box and one? It's big plays and talking smack. That's how you know that basketball is back, Jack. Let me hear you say
Basketball. Basketball. Basketball.
basketball is back, Jack. 360 dunks and pick and rolls. And we're gonna watch it every day till they raise the Larry O. Hard fouls and hook shots. A dagger three and hack a shack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say's a gag. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back, Jack. Basketball is back. Basketball is back, Jack.
So let's start out with the real controversy. Lots going on right now. It is a Friday show, which means, of course, we have our pal Dave Damashek out there on the West Coast. Hello, Dave. There he
What's
is.
happening in Miami? What's going down?
We got a full crew here in the shipping container, but man, things were said last night, things happened last night, and it involves a food that we all love. What is going on with Chick-fil-A? Jeremy, can you fill me in here? All right, so is Chick-fil-A like the new promotion, the way that they used to do Papa John's for the Heat games? Like it's now a Chick-fil-A thing?
The way that this promotion works is if a road player misses 2 free throws in the second half, 2 consecutive free throws, you get a free Chick-fil-A promotion, which normally
those
is
deals.
8 nuggets.
Yeah, I like those kind of bits, because anytime.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying anytime in the second half, not just fourth quarter?
Anytime in the second half.
Wow. Okay, that's very generous, Chick-fil-A. And so if a road player misses the first free throw, like is the crowd getting into it?
Absolutely, every time, because they'll put it up on the screen. Like they'll tell you at halftime, like,
that's
hey,
good.
if this happens, because they want the crowd to get into it, and then they'll remind people, and people like. Sometimes the biggest pop of an entire game, if it's a blowout, is that moment when someone has missed their first free throw.
Bad crowd.
Now, of course, I think everyone remembers like the most infamous moment of these, right, is Boban, where Boban Marjanovic a few years ago. Dave, do you remember this, where Boban was on the free throw line? I think he was playing for Houston at the time. He was on the free throw line. It was a road game, and everybody knows you get free wings, whatever it was. And this one was so weird to me because Boban missed the first free throw, and everyone in the crowd now stands up. They're all cheering. They're very, very excited. And Boban, even though he's on the road team, clearly understands what's happening here. But here's the thing. It was a close game. It wasn't a blowout. And Boban motions to the crowd, I got you. He says, I got you. He puts his hand up and he points at everybody, and he says, I got you. It's okay. I got you. And then he proceeds to miss the second free throw. And he comes up the court pumping his fist. Everyone was excited, but like, it was a close game. Why did he do that?
Point shaving. Pablo's got to look into that.
Yeah, that's a point shaving scenario right there.
Well, Pablo has looked into this. He did an episode on chicken-eligible free throws with Amin.
Where did I miss that one?
Well,
You were here.
yeah, you were here. You were supposed to watch. But they figured out the CCR, which is the chicken conversion rate, and not Creedence Clearwater Revival. That is an oldie. The chicken conversion rate
about
for
that, my
one
wayward
player
son?
in the league is sky high. Giannis Antetokounmpo shoots free throws going into the season at right around 68, 69%.
Hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. Wayward Son is Kansas, buddy.
It was Carry On My Wayward
Like
Son.
I
is
said,
Kansas.
you know about that song by
Fortunate Son.
Kansas, My Wayward Son?
It's Carry On My Wayward Son, and it's by Kansas, not by CCR. Sorry,
Like I
Jeremy.
said.
Yeah, it's Fortunate Son, but we can carry on. So 68% for Giannis normally on free throws, 63% in the fourth quarter. Chicken eligible free throws, he misses 8 out of 10 free throws
It's amazing.
on chicken eligible free throws.
So
Okay,
he's
so
showing
thi-
love to the
And
people.
he's the one that did it last night.
Right, okay, so this happened last night.
Last night. I
Giannis
texted
missed
Amin
2 free
immediately.
throws. Yep. All right, so Giannis missed 2 free throws, and the crowd now, as a result, gets this Chick-fil-A promotion.
That's
today.
right.
So what is the controversy?
The controversy is that the Panthers also have a promotion. And the Panthers promotion is if Bob, or whoever is the goalie that
he
night,
was good last
has
night.
30 or more saves. Roy, I'm right here, right? 30 or more saves? Yeah, 30 or more saves. If 30 or more saves.
30 or more saves.
30 or more
Panthers
saves for Bob. And you also get a Chick-fil-A promotion.
Do the Panthers have to win too?
No.
No? Oh, that's
No.
interesting. Okay.
So by my math, looks like Daddy's looking at 16 today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so-
would think so.
So, well, why are you doubting that?
Because it seems as though on the Chick-fil-A app, they may only be letting you cash in on one claim.
They are. I'm on the Chick-fil-A app right now. I'm an avid user of the Chick-fil-A app, and I'm looking at the rewards, and my rewards only show an 8-count nugget.
Guys, I think this might be the biggest controversy Chick-fil-A has ever faced.
Yeah, I can't think of another.
So, okay, you can't combine the two then and get 16, but can you order 8 and then another order 8?
Tony?
No, so usually what they do is, because obviously I'm a frequenter of this reward.
Whisper here. Don't tell them. Don't let people know.
So what they do is that you can see on the app, it's like, Miami Heat promotion, whatever. This one, they didn't put a name, right? It's either Miami Heat or Panthers or whatever. It's just as you get 8 nuggets no matter what, but it doesn't specify which one they're actually
Oh, so you don't
rewarding.
even have to be at the game to get the
No,
promotion.
no. As long as you have the app, you can go in and redeem your nuggets. The thing is,
I
it
remember
usually
leaving those Dolphin games after a Dolphin win. You got to bring the ticket stub where, Chris?
The strip club.
Right into, that's right. Right into Tootsie's. Go ahead, Tony.
How old are you guys? Ticket stubs. So you can see, all right, Panthers promotion, Heat promotion, Papa John's, Heat win is still valid, baby.
Oh, good.
Still, we can get Papa John's tonight if you
50
want.
off.
50 off. It's a great deal. They used to be, by the way, they used to do it on stuff that was already on sale. So if it's like, all right, we have a promotion where you can get 2 pizzas for, $11, and then you would drop the 50 on top of that, and you'd get it for like $5.
Oh,
but they got
hell
wise to
yeah.
the game. They're like, nothing on promotion you can get 50% off. It has to be full menu price. So whatever. Long story short, we're looking at only one promotion here, a reward for South Florida Chick-fil-A, but it would usually say Heat or Panthers. Doesn't say
Make it right, Chick-fil-A.
8 count. That's it.
Okay, so, is this the first time all year that there's been 2 missed free throws and 30 saves in a Panther
A Chick-fil-A eclipse? I don't know. I'd have to look.
Chick-fil-A eclipse, Dave.
I have to jump in from the other side of these United States to ask, who is checking to see? Is it based on zip code to verify that I'm not going to I can't tap into this from Southern California?
Yeah, Dave, it's
for sure?
geofenced. It's geofenced for South Florida. So you could probably have like a Lakers one or a Kings one or
Free
whatever it
In-N-Out
is that you
burger
do.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like a 75.
I get my chicken. I get my chicken at Magic City, and I just stay out of this entire
Long drive for you.
Hey, so all right, I'd like to get a definitive answer from Chick-fil-A. All right, maybe within the next few hours, what's going on there? But are the Miami Heat for real? The Heat have won 7 in a row. They are a season best 9 games above 500. You know about that Pelle Larsson last night, Mike? I know you've been dialed in. You're a big NBA fan over the last 2 weeks. You just started watching the sport.
Yeah. I tapped out on the NBA. By the way, I believe the Celtics are 500 since Jason Tatum came back.
And he had to
Jeremy.
rest last
Yeah,
night.
let's not mention that the last 2 games have been at the Spurs and at OKC, I believe, on back-to-back nights. We just move on. But right now we're 500, and that's what we said would happen. That's exactly what we said would happen. No, I was actually a little sick last night. I went to bed at 6:20. I tried to fight through I tried to fight through the NyQuil as long as I could because I was watching an incredible FSU Duke game. I went down to the wire. Bobby Buckets for FSU is a hell of a player, but Duke ends up surviving. So I'm dialed into the ACC. I'm trying to watch as much college basketball as I possibly can because on Sunday we have Select Your Sunday. We have the selection day for the NCAA tournament. We have Oscars, red carpet. We'll get into that in a little bit. But also, I kind of think that this is like a niche interest equinox that's going on Sunday, too. Because we mentioned there's Indian Wells, there's left turns in Las Vegas, there's the players going on as well. You got AEW Revolution. There's a lot going on Sunday.
Ooh, all right. There you go. So, Dave, you know about Select Your Sunday?
I do know about it. As a matter of fact, I'll be a part of it, friend. I'm going to be joining the live stream. Excited for that. Yeah, I think that Selection Sunday, even though my interest in college basketball has dipped a little bit, like I think everybody in these United States would agree with me about that, I think it remains in the top 3 greatest sporting events that involves no actual sport. The Selection Sunday, along with the NFL draft, the NBA draft lottery selection, that's up there.
Yep, that's
and
fun.
I think NFL draft. I think those would be your top 3, right?
All right, so Sunday, and what time are we starting? What is it, 5:45 Eastern? 5:45 p.m. Eastern. You can check us out, YouTube Live. All right, Select Your Sunday. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be something for everybody to do on Sunday night. Everybody's normally bored on Sunday night. You don't have to be bored now this weekend. We got a great show on Sunday night planned for everybody. But, Jeremy, so the Miami Heat have won 7 in a row. They are 9 games over 500. Pella Larson was great last night, career high 28. Jaka Jonas, he looks like that's new Goran Dragic.
That kid is good.
He's
that your
a
boy?
good last night Pella Larson was my boy. I think so I don't normally have favorite players anymore. Like, do you have a favorite player on the teams that you love?
No, I'm 34.
Right, exactly. I don't have favorite players anymore.
Really?
Sam Bennett's my favorite Panther.
I kind of, that's how I enjoy the NFL now since I don't have a team. It's like I just root for certain players. And the NBA is a lot like that. That's the stand-up.
Well, especially for
that's
the
in NBA.
younger crowd.
Yeah, you'll have your Steph Curry fans, and they'll follow him wherever. That's why you have your LeBron fans that have been Heat fans, Laker fans, Cavs fans, and they just move along with them. It seems like pretty unique to soccer in the NBA in this country.
Like, Dave, do you still have favorite players on your favorite team? I don't mean like, I love watching, Patrick Mahomes. You're a Steeler fan. Do you have a favorite player on the Steelers?
I guess I do. I was struck by Tony, who's on the younger side of things, saying that he's a 34-year-old man. I thought that the newer generation of people all vibed in that direction versus team brand.
No,
right?
I agree, Dave. My thing is I don't like I like the Heat, but I'm not sitting there being like, man, I really love Bam. He's my favorite player.
That's how I feel.
I don't have that. Like I have, I really like watching Steph Curry play or Jokic play or whomever, but I don't sit there and be like, my favorite guy is Pella Larson.
What age?
Right.
Can a 28-year-old have a favorite player?
Yes. I think 28 is still a good age. For me, it started about 10 plus years ago. I'm 45, all right? I know I look younger because I got like a Benjamin Button thing going on right now, but about 10 years ago, I got to a point where I don't have favorite players anymore because it's weird to me for a guy who's younger than me. Oh, you're my favorite, even though like I'm a lot older than you. Like that's weird to me. You know what I'm saying, Dave?
I do get it, but also I think this is what players fall into all the time is that they think, fans, on social media and otherwise and back slaps wherever I go and everything else. But when push comes to shove, it is always interesting to see the player get surprised when the fan base turns on him in favor of the team brand when there's contract negotiations afoot and I might hold out and not deliver services. I'm always struck by the players being surprised by the fan reaction. Like, wait, I thought you guys had my back. Like, no, we want the team to win, man, and you're hurting our ability to win games. We want you to sign. We want the team to pay you out until you start refusing to deliver services. Then we are going to turn on you because you're hurting our team. It is a funny dynamic that I think plays out in the 21st century all the time here.
Yeah,
the players feeling betrayed by the fans on some level.
Yeah, so I am with Tony where like I got to a point where I don't have favorite players anymore. But I think Pella Larson is my favorite player on this Heat team, which is weird because I'm like 25 years older than him. But yeah, Pella Larson, I think is my favorite player on this team. He was awesome last night. But what I do want to say is I'm really excited about the Heat right now because they've been playing great and there's fun things going on with them right now. And for just the second time in 2 years, I'm going to a Heat game Saturday night.
Big game.
That's
Big game
right.
or not a big game?
Everybody knows that's a big game.
Big
I don't,
game.
I don't want to do spoiler alert for Zaslow Show 2.0 today, but that's a big game. Heat Magic, Saturday night. So I'm going Saturday. I'm taking my younger son because he's way into the Heat these days, and I want to.
Who's
get to
his
that.
favorite player? Because he's in the age of having favorite players.
Well,
on the team.
I'll get to that. I have an explanation for that. Very good question, though, Tony. Put that in the holster. So Saturday night, going to the Heat game, Heat Magic. Battle for 5th in the Eastern. That's right. Don't laugh at that.
It's just
Battle
funny
for
'cause
5th.
They're
in
both
the Eastern
2.5 back and
Conference.
forth, by the way.
That's
I
right.
gotcha. It's just funny when you have the build-up. It's a big game. They're tied for 5th.
That's right. So Saturday night, I will be making my second appearance in just 2 years at Kaseya Center. It is very, very exciting. Everybody come and say hello. I love you long time. So
I have to. I'm sorry to interrupt. I really, my head's spinning. The announcement in the last 4 minutes of this show is that it's weird or childish to have favorite players in sports. I'm confused.
No. I think there's a difference between your favorite players to watch, like, ooh,
In the league.
I love watching Wemby. He's my favorite to watch. And having a favorite player on your team where, like, you're a little kid and you got to buy his jersey.
I'm with Dave.
I think the former is weird. Like, I just root for guys. He's good, and so I like to root for greatness. I think those people are the weirdos, because where that delivers you is, why do we have to debate these things about LeBron versus Jordan? Okay, that one's a little tired, but why do we have to try?
I
to
haven't
figure
heard
out
that
who's better?
argument.
Can't we just agree they're both great? No, we can't do that. What are we doing then? What is our role in the entire operation if we're not having those sorts of debates to figure out? By the way, I don't know if everybody's noticed that every league has awards a title at the end of it to try to define who the best is, and then they do an MVP for individual greatness. Why are we trying to get away from? It's too much. Why do we have to figure out who's better? Because that's the whole point of what we're doing. That's why we do the sports in the first place.
I was made to feel a little embarrassed, and there was consensus in this studio that everyone's like, yeah, you have your favorite team. You don't have a favorite player. I'm like, damn, I feel like a dork for loving Matthew Tkachuk. Like, he's my favorite Florida Panther. I'll just shrink in over here. I guess I'm a child.
It was once they pointed out of the player being younger than you that
That's
I
weird.
started to feel. But I'm still with Mike. Like, I have a favorite player,
Yeah.
but I am older than
Am
him.
I a creep for liking every Malachi Tony post? He's 18.
And is the opposite then true? Do I have to like everybody? Is it like I have to like everybody the same then? Is that what
No,
you're
this isn't
proposing?
communism. You
Because
can like whoever
if
you
I
want.
can't have a favorite, well, if I can't have a favorite, if it's weird for me to have a favorite, then I can't have least favorites either, right? That's kind of what you're saying. They're all the same. And then that takes us into the Jerry Seinfeld. Well, now I'm just rooting for the laundry. Unsatisfied.
That's what we do, though. We do root for the laundry. We have an entire dedicated March Madness rooting for laundry.
Not Mike Ryan. Mike Ryan stopped rooting for an entire brand because he didn't like them
That's a
adding
different
an
story. That's a
individual
different
person.
story.
And then I
What's not a
followed
different
Baker.
Story? That's exactly right.
Yeah, I followed Baker. I stopped rooting for the laundry and started rooting for the guy. And now that more Miami Hurricanes are going to be drafted higher and more prominently, I'm going to be like a pro Canes guy, rooting for my boy Cam.
But you've
and
always kind
Ruben.
of been a pro Canes
Yeah,
guy.
we just haven't had the pro Canes.
I know it's crazy. I'm going to say something. I hope you guys don't think less of me,
Go on.
even though both of these people are younger than I am. Maybe I shouldn't say it too loud because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, shh.
I like Sidney Crosby on the Pittsburgh Penguins more than I like Ville Koivunen on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Does that make me? Is that crazy?
Yes.
Does that make me a weirdo?
I was-
what the hell?
I'm a huge fan of Erik Karlsson. I've been following him. Like, I like watching him play. I tune into all his games. I kind of feel some kind of way now that he's not playing as well, even though he's had a nice little bounce back and he's with the Pens.
Oh,
'cause
he's very good.
I generally don't like the Pens, but when he was an Ottawa Senator, I would buy Carlson T-shirts. I do like players. I like tuning in. I love watching Macklin Celebrini. I think there are certain players that are appointment
Tony, you know about that?
appointment television.
Celebrini, come on.
All right, so this is a very
Take
controversial
it for my
start.
I take Celebrini for my lumbago. Is that a disease? Lumbago? That sounds like one.
Very controversial start to a Friday show. But since we have not spoken to Dave yet this week, there was big reactions last night at the Heat game from Eric Spoelstra, Bam Adebayo, because they're at the center of the controversy over the last couple days, Dave. Before we hear from them, because this is the first time we've gotten to hear from Spo and Bam since the 83-point game on Tuesday night. Dave, how did you experience what took place with Bam Adebayo?
Before Spo and Bam, which out of context sounds funny that we're going to hear from them. This is, and I don't want to get hyperbolic early on a Friday, but I'm going to say what I feel. This is move over tan suit. I don't know what else. This is the dumbest controversy that I can recall in my lifetime. I mean, what the hell? What is exactly the thing here that Bam needs to apologize? This is the talk. And by the way, when we talk about rooting for players, that's what's at the root of it. People are offended for Kobe Bryant, right? I mean, that's what's at the root of all this is people are puffing their chests out. You hurt my feelings because I want Kobe to have this record, not Bam in a game that doesn't really matter. I mean, do we have to take away because it hurts football fans' feelings? Like, I like Larry Zonka better than I like Timmy Smith from Washington, who broke the Super Bowl rushing record. It's not right that he has 204 Super Bowl rushing yards. Take it away. This is the most bizarre thing that people continue to buzz about days and days after the fact. And by the way, the other thing that people keep skipping over is it's not even a record.
Of course.
It's the craziest
right.
controversy I've ever seen.
Right, of course. So last night, Eric Spoelstra, this is before the game last night. It's his first availability since the game on Tuesday night. And granted, he spoke after the game on Tuesday night, but that was before we had 48 straight hours of people shitting on Bam and shitting on the Heat and shitting on Eric Spoelstra. So here's Eric Spoelstra just straight up telling everyone, you're not getting an apology.
I apologize to absolutely no one. Period. And going into the game, it's a Tuesday night game against a team where they're not playing for anything, where their organization is trying to lose. We've already lost a game, in that kind of situation. We have players that are sitting out, and I spoke to Bam about I want, as our best player and team captain, for him to be locked in and ready. And he sure was.
I think a lot of people really enjoyed Eric Spoelstra last night because there's more from him, but he was saying a lot of the quiet things out loud, and I think a lot of people really appreciate it. But I liked how he started there in that clip saying how I'm going to apologize to no one. And that part is important to me because I think maybe when the national folks, be it media or fans, when they talk about Heat culture, and we heard the other day, which I found very offensive, Tim McMahon from ESPN, who's a very good NBA reporter, but talking about how Heat culture's dead now. I don't ever want to hear it. Like that was offensive to me. All right, but I think what a lot of people are missing about what Heat culture is and what Heat culture means, it's them not caring about anyone else outside the building. It's them not caring about what anyone else thinks, how anyone else feels, and they do what is best for them and what they care about in that building. I mean, how many times does Eric Spoelstra, one of his go-to phrases, right, is, we're not for everybody. Yep. That's one of his lines. We're not for everybody. That is Heat culture. They don't care about what everyone else is saying. And so I feel like we haven't talked about that part enough. So I'm glad that he pointed that out.
You could kind of say the opposite of this is not Heat culture and Tim McMahon saying like Heat culture is dead and all that stuff. It's like the antithesis of that. Like this is exactly what Heat culture is getting your guy a record, getting your guy to do something that only one other person in the sport has done.
Doing what's best for us.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And he quoted Conor McGregor at the beginning. I'd like to take the chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. And, that's how you got to play it.
Well, and Spo talked, the entire time about the respect that he has for Bam and how this is so not the player that Bam is, not from the skill set perspective, but more from he is someone who was always just sacrificing for the team. Everything he does is about the team. So on a night where he could make it about the celebration of the individual player, about the celebration of the captain, he said, I would do anything for Bam. Period. As his head coach, I would do anything for Bam.
Yeah, so let me give you a little bit more of Eric Spoelstra here. And one thing that certainly Heat fans noticed. Everyone in the building had an amazing time, and here's Eric Spoelstra on the fans.
Going back and forth, at the end, all that happened under 2 minutes. He was already 76 deep at that point, and damn right we're going to go for it at that point. So I've seen, people, say, you've got to be a purist. I'm a Darwinist in this league. Really, you can do anything you want in this game. You can approach it however you want. If we get criticized for what we do, it was probably irony in these two organizations. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. If you can, tank and get a great draft pick, I don't care. Like, you can do anything you want in this league. You can approach it however you want. We don't do that. And, we have the 13th pick. Do something that you're trying to get out of the number 1 pick. I've seen teams hack a shack. Debate it, not debate it. Who cares? You can do whatever you want. You foul 3-point shooters, not foul 3-point shooters. I don't. You can take the last shot in a game that's already over, or don't take it. Who gives a damn?
Dave, that's a good line right there. If you noticed, where we're doing with the 13th pick, that being Bam, we're doing with the 13th pick what they, the Wizards, are trying to do with the number 1 pick.
I thought that you were going to say
line.
the line of everyone saying I should be a basketball purist. I'm a Darwinist in this league.
I don't like that.
Oh, I do like that.
Oh, you know what you're talking about, communist?
I do like that. By the way, the thing about Heat culture, I think to some degree it's suspended by the fact that Eric Spoelstra, and I don't think we talked nearly enough about this, looks exactly the same as when we first met him 20-something years or so ago, and I think that's the through line, even more so than Pat Riley, who somehow had the Wilford Brimley, looks exactly the same as we always knew him for a long, long time, until recently. Now he looks a little bit older, but now Spoelstra, the same thing. I think that's what maintains, that what gives us the perception that the Heat are unchanged. But either way, I think we just, how we asterisk things like, well, that happened in a 16-game schedule or 162 games versus 154. We now need a snowflake for the ones that when people don't like it. Like, well, I don't like that Bam Adebayo has more single point game, had more points in a game than Kobe. So let's put a snowflake next to him from now on. Would that make sense? Would that make everybody feel better?
Better than an asterisk, I guess. Here's okay, now let me set it up a little bit better. Here's Eric Spoelstra about the fans.
Our fan base is electrified by this moment. This locker room has wanted something. I joked about it after the game, but I texted even a little bit with Dwayne afterwards, and he's talking about that buzz. Well, there's going to be a buzz now. There will be a responsibility to that buzz. Good. I want there to be pressure, on our team. I'm banking on that bringing out another level, for our group, and we're trying to seize a moment right now.
So I could tell you, I experience sports a lot nowadays through the eyes of my teenage boys. Okay, so it's a bit of a different experience, and it's a great different experience. And what's happened as a result, I watched the game the other night with my 14-year-old, who has really just started to get very into sports over the last year plus. Okay, so while he still loves sports, he's still learning the nuances and that kind of deal. So so that's really fun experiencing that with him. But as a result of Bam's game the other night, he is so pumped now about the Miami Heat. He can't believe that he saw Bam Adebayo score 83 points. He can't stop talking about it.
I will say, as somebody who I would say of all of us in here, I'm a casual Heat fan. Last night, first game I tuned in for the pregame show. I don't know. There was just something about coming off of that game.
And you watched the whole game?
No, did not watch the whole game. But I watched I saw tip-off. I saw Jeremy do his secret report about the jersey that they were selling.
Thanks, man.
But there have to be other kids. My son can't be the only 14-year-old who now is I want to go to the game on Saturday nights, and I keep Bam's incredible.
Imagine the Big Three spurred so many young kids that were oh, wait a second, this is basketball now? It's no, this is the Holy Land. This is the Holy Grail right now. But a lot of kids were birthed into that, and now using the 83-point games as springboard, it's like that'll just draw more kids under the tent to be like, oh, wow, this is really cool.
And it does it for the team. Like I was talking to some of the guys in the locker room before the game, and Fontecchio said it, and Pella said it after the game, which is like they were looking for a moment that could bring them back to the conversation in the league, because winning a few games in a row was, it was doing it in part. But at the beginning of the year, when it was, they're playing with all of this pace, everybody was in on it. They were winning some games and they were in the national conversation, and then things sputtered and nobody cared. This brought them back into it, and it happens to coincide with this 7-game win streak. And now all of a sudden, they're the highest scoring team in the league, and they're winning 7 games in a row, and Pella Larson setting a career high, which, by the way, look, I may not have been sidelined to interview Bam after his career high, but I did get to interview a player after their career high.
We'll always
in the
remember
winner's
that,
circle,
Jeremy.
and I will always remember the night Pella Larson
Please
scored 28 points.
Don't tell us the Pella Larson story again where you recognized him.
Oh, you wanna hear the Pella Larson story
don't.
where
I
I
said
came
don't
in
say
here
it.
and
Did
I
he get
told
hit in
all
the
of
face
you?
or no?
No, I watched the red, white, and pink scrimmage
There it is.
during his rookie season, and I will never forget that in the fourth quarter of this scrimmage, there's about 3 minutes left to play, and Pella Larson draws a charge underneath the basket. And when he draws that charge, the way Eric Spoelstra's face lit up, I've never seen it. I haven't seen it. I hadn't seen it then. I haven't seen it since. It's one of the most impressive things I've seen. And I told all of you, buy your stock in Pella Larson then. You should have bought it.
What I think is weird is this is sort of quintessentially Florida stuff, isn't it? Because Jimmy Johnson's Canes used to got a lot of heat, pun intended, for running up the score. And Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach with the Gators at the height of their powers, would run up the score, and people would get miffed about this. And so now it aligns with, like I say, Florida sports that people are raw about Bam. But the distinction here is this happened in the NBA. And that's what Spo is talking about, that, Darwinism and all that. This was an NBA-sanctioned game. I get that it's unsatisfying when you look at college football historic numbers that, like Robbie Bosco at BYU in the WAC, he has way more passing yards than guys from credible conferences and all that. This was an NBA game. I don't even know what to make of this so-called controversy. It's the weirdest one, like I say, I've ever seen in my life.
So how about Bam? Bam now got to respond to all the criticism that he has also heard over those 48 hours.
For the couch coaches, I mean, if you're in my shoes and you have, first of all, y'all are blaming me. You should be blaming the head coach. Get that first. I was not the one. Let me go one-on-one the whole game until I had 70, then you started to send a double. At that point, I got 70 with 9 minutes left to go in the game. You think I'm not going for it? And that's the thing that's crazy when they talk about the unethical part of the basketball. I'm like, if I have 70 with 9 minutes to go, who would just be like, coach, just take me out? Yeah, right. Anybody in my shoes with 9 minutes left? Okay. A minute? All right. 9? Yeah, I'm going for it.
These are incredible building blocks for Jay Lucas next season as he takes the reins as Miami Heat head coach, according to Jay Williams.
Whoa, hold on. What did Jay Williams say?
What did he say?
Jay Williams on the ACC broadcast yesterday when Miami beat Louisville.
Close game?
Yeah, it was a close game. I mean, it was a 1.5
All
point
the
spread.
ACC games
Dub.
yesterday were close.
Yeah, it was.
Clemson got a big win.
Yeah, those two teams, like, they go to war with one another every time they play. But Miami beats Louisville, advances, plays Virginia today in the semifinal, 3.5 point dog, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. But yesterday, a lot of people perked up who had the sound on at around like 2:45. Like, wait, what did Jay Williams just say? Jay Williams, and this was kind of weird that he did it like this, because I haven't heard these rumblings that Jay Williams has heard. Jay Williams said rumblings out of Miami that if Eric Spoelstra were to step aside, Jay Lucas would be the replacement. Now, I think this is all absurd.
Well, does Jay Williams mention there to the national audience that there's a major Duke Miami Heat connection?
Well, he didn't, which is why I say you shouldn't just dismiss this. The part that you need to dismiss is there are no rumblings. We would have heard those rumblings. This is the first time we've heard anything like this.
Does Spo look like a guy who's planning to step aside?
Well, Jeremy and I were talking. You were in the group chat too. Like, I mean, Spo seems to love coaching, and it would be a real shock. And he just got named Team USA head basketball coach.
That's really what convinced me more than anything. Like, look, we've talked about it here. Like, Spo's gone through a lot in the last couple of years, but not only is he a basketball sicko when it comes to coaching, and I know he has further aspirations than just going to championships without LeBron and Wade and Bosh, but it's also the fact that he was just named the head coach of Team USA basketball for 2028.
Right, and he could step aside as Heat head coach and technically continue on as international coach. Like, this is something that happens, and it's kind of weird that the NBA allows that, where in international soccer, you don't see someone coaching a club and country. They usually focus on one. Granted, international basketball is different and Team USA basketball is different. But here's where we can't just dismiss it, and where I do think it's a little bit of a juicy one, and it led to some interesting conversations. Spoelstra's had a lot going on in his personal life recently. He had the divorce. He had the cancer battle with one of his children. He just had his house burned down. I assume that's a lot of moments of reflection, all right? But like you were alluding to, Zaz, Nick Arison was a team manager for Duke. I assume Nick Arison and Jay Williams have some sort of relationship. Now, I don't know if that's where this came from, but you have to mention Nick Arison's Duke ties. Jay Lucas, also Duke ties. And Dan has said several times on this show, and I think Dan is as plugged in as anybody on the Miami Heat, the natural replacement for Pat Riley when he were to move out of this team president role, whenever that may be, would be Eric Spoelstra. Now, we just kind of assumed Spo would do both. Like he's going to do all three things.
You know, like Pat did.
Like Pat did. But the way that the NBA is going, Brad Stevens, at the peak of his coaching powers, decided I'm just going to go to this front office role and count on and do that and hire a head coach. And they've had plenty of success there. So while I'm saying I haven't heard these rumblings, and I also would bet my bottom dollar that Spo is not leaving the head coaching position, I would say we can't totally dismiss this out of pocket because of the Duke connections and the fact that we can kind of see this thing coming to fruition if Spo were really just ready for a change.
I think what we could probably dismiss, though, is Jay Lucas's next stop is not going to be the Heat. Like, whatever the next stop is, because maybe it will be the Heat at some point. His next stop, like, there's going to be something in between that.
But what if there isn't? What if the play is long term? Like, hey, stay with Miami. This is coming in the next couple of years. You build a foundation. You build a powerhouse there. All of a sudden, when it's time, you're right down the street.
I don't think that plan gets off track if he goes and coaches another school. Like, that plan can always be there.
Yeah, everyone just speaks with the assumption that Jay Lucas is not going to be here in Miami in Coral Gables for
You're
a
the
long
one
time.
who speaks that way.
No, I have that. I'm actually in hearing some of Jay Lucas's interviews and knowing that we're in a different era now and seeing what he just did in 1 year. And also, we have to keep in mind, Miami is removed from consecutive years where they were an Elite Eight team and a Final Four team. Like, this is a pretty good spot for Jay Lucas to be. I'm not one of those people that are resigned to him going to Kentucky, let's say.
Coming up today on the Alley Oop, Victor Wembanyama might be the greatest player of all time. Simultaneously, though, Kawhi Leonard might be the greatest player of all time.
And you know who's not going to be the greatest player of all time? The guy that everybody stays hating on, Bam Adebayo, who ended up breaking Kobe Bryant's scoring record, 83 points. Here's what everybody gets wrong about that 81-point game. And also, don't play around with DeJounte Murray just because he looks like a 90s pop star.
Lock in.
Years with comedian Rob Delaney.
I really am thrilled to be doing this, Rob, because I admire your work a great deal, and it's rare that I find somebody from afar that I've been wanting to talk to because their story seems somehow something even more admirable to me. Now, you might not view it this way. I don't know how much nobility you think there is in your story, but in watching the art that you've made and watching the life that you've chosen, it's sort of been a pleasure to watch your work grow and to see, the things that you are choosing late in life to do artistically.
Well, that's very.
This week on Mystery Crate, we get to the bottom of what we're going to call Zaz's story time. Either it's big-ass story, Zaz's big-ass story, or Zaz's old-ass story. One of the two will be it. He brings a very cool story that ties into something we've been doing here on at Meadowlark on Pablo Torre Finds Out. Jeremy defends his BAM take. He was on a Broadway musical with Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, I made my Broadway debut.
That was
hear
exciting.
all about it. Everybody was super excited.
Thank you, Jeremy. That's enough from you. We also have the Quentin Tarantino, the official Quentin Tarantino tiers list of his movies. So we go through all the movies, we slot them into tiers, and we argue about it, which is always fun. Argument TV. That's on Mystery Crate. Rose, anything else?
And we went to Key West.
Oh, that's right. Roy, something happened in Key West that we'll get to. It's not good. It's not good for Roy.
I just like stuff.
Okay.
Very kind of you to say. Thank you, and thank you for acknowledging that I am late in my life. There's a refreshing honesty to that. I am 45, so I'm well more than halfway.
45 is late in life.
I mean, I do think about it though sometimes though. Like I'm definitely more than halfway done, and that's funny. Isn't that funny?
How does it feel to be told that you're late in life by someone who is considerably older than you?
Who's a great deal.
The Alexander brothers epitomized power, privilege, and perversion, selling billions of dollars in luxury real estate, living the high life. And now they might live the rest of their lives as guests of the federal government, having just been convicted on 10 counts related to conspiracy and sex trafficking involving drugging and raping multiple women, including 2 who were underage at the time. Vanity Fair's Willem Marks joins us to break it down. And you already know where these guys are from, right, Roy?
Miami. Well,
Hashtag because Miami.
Cookies.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings. The crown
that's right.
is yours.
Let's go. Yeah. All right, yeah.
Come on.
What are you on about? You don't like the pause between?
Ridiculous.
What are you on about? It's such a funny way to say it.
So Chris Cody got back from vacation a couple days ago, and it's like, do you not know what's going on in the NFL?
No.
Because he just saw Dave. He just saw. So Chris was on a cruiser. You were an all-inclusive.
All-inclusive.
All right. So he was away for a few days. He just got back yesterday, and it flashes across the screen just a couple of minutes ago. Mike Evans signs 3-year deal with the 49ers. Like, did you not decide to catch yourself up on what happened when you were away? You just showed up like, I'll catch up on the fly?
On the day back, I was kind of just going through Twitter and, looking at all the news and see, oh, this guy's here, and I thought I saw a lot of it.
We're at war?
I thought I saw we're at war. Bam did what? But but stuff's still trickling in. A lot of shit happened.
But so you're at the all-inclusive. Do you not, you don't, like, you actually unplug. You don't follow?
Oh, for sure. Like, my screen time is way down. Like, yeah, I'm having, like, moments where I'll get on phone for, like, a 5 minute here, 5 minute there. But no, like, for the most part, I am way less. Why, you don't disconnect?
No. Like,
you don't know about that disconnect?
That's my gimmick. Like, Dave, I feel like we work in a business where we can't just disconnect for a week and then play catch up. Like, I'm not on my phone the whole time when I'm on a cruise or something, but I get the Wi-Fi package and I make sure I check what's happening,
What the hell is Chris Cody unplugging from? Sports? That way, I've never been an ER doctor, but I've watched The Pit a few times, and I can understand wanting to get away from that sometimes. Well, get away from sports. That's the whole reason you choose to do sports for your life. I mean, you don't want to unplug. This isn't work. This is fun work.
It's more just getting away. It's more just getting away from my phone in general.
Okay, but how much is it? Okay,
I've got to unplug.
Yeah,
I gotta get away from it all. From what? From watching sports?
From Canucks Flames?
All right, let's get down to brass tacks here, though. How much is it, Chris? Because if on your vacation you got your phone out and your wife scolds you.
I mean, it's really not that at all.
She's reading her book. She doesn't even see
exactly.
you.
She's reading Smut the whole time. That's my wife. Anyone else?
But you have to. You have the built-in excuse, Zaslow. Of course you know that. Cody, if anybody's like, what are you doing on your phone? Can't you focus? Can't you be present with us? I'm sorry. I wish I could. But it's my job to be plugged into what's going on in sports. And unfortunately,
I use that. It's my job line so much throughout the year, guys. I got to take like a few days off on the hey, honey.
That's why you do it. That's one of the reasons you
I gotta
choose
watch
sports
Panthers
as a job.
tonight. I got to watch Panthers tonight. I got to work. Like I use that a lot, guy. I go to that well a lot.
Oh, my wife always says to me, do you have to watch this game for work?
You know,
the answer's always yes.
We have highlight on Friday nights, and then afterwards, I'm still working, honey. We're like it's a team meeting we're doing after here at Las Rosas.
That's right. Which for me is also kind of work.
See, dude.
Wow, good point.
It all falls under the work umbrella.
ABW always be working.
And by the way, it's 100% the truth too. That's what you have on your side. Like I got to watch this game for work. Like, do you feel like you're lying? No, you're not lying. You should watch.
We just
it.
mentioned
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be watching the games, everybody. And guess what? It's fun too.
You good? While we're
I'm done. I got well, no, I didn't know if you needed to unplug for a few minutes right now.
Speaking of Panthers last night, how about this Bobrovsky deciding to play well as soon as we're eliminated? I am over this Bob.
They're eliminated?
They're not eliminated.
The last week,
awesome.
I know they're not technically eliminated, but
They
eliminated.
win the rest of their games. Look at him.
The last week or so, every game, it's Bob playing out of his ass. Now that we're out of it, I'm over this Bob playing well late in the season.
Oh, good. We could just talk about
You're over the guy who just delivered 2 Stanley Cups to you?
No, I'm over
What the
him.
hell's going on with Cody?
I'm over him.
Somebody unplug him. Roy, unplug him, please.
Yeah, his mic's off. Don't worry. He's not talking anymore.
I'm glad that Chris brought that up because, yes, Sergei Bobrovsky was incredible last night. Kept them in a game where the Panthers were generating no offense the first 2 periods. Third period was actually very exciting, and the Panthers win. Reinhart scores the winner, and they win 2-1 in overtime. But I feel like last night, Bob was so incredible. And last night for me, if you didn't feel this way before last night, you have to at least have some type of feeling about, I think this year will be a blip on the radar when the team comes back healthy next year, certainly when Barkov is in front of him next year, and that you have to bring Bobrovsky back. You probably sign him to a 2-year extension. You bring him back next year, and it's pretty likely he bounces back. Like, I thought last night was maybe the best moment of the season. Because, and you heard what guys were saying about Bob after the game, and even what Sergei said after the game. You saw there were quotes from him just about, I love it here. I don't ever want to play anyone else. This is the only place I want to play. I want to finish my career. Like, you can't get rid of this guy. I'm so glad they didn't trade him. I'm so glad.
Well, I mean, this is the first time we've heard anything like this. His contract's been a looming situation, and it was almost as if the deadline forced this conversation into the local narrative. We're not that kind of media market that if this were Toronto, they'd be banging on about his contract for 2 years. But that's not how South Florida is. I think the players like that. But it's cool to see, like, every Panther fan's kind of wondering, wait, are we going to lose our legendary goaltender, number 72? And they've answered that pretty loudly. And they're showing him love, and they're giving him flowers. And for Bob, who is not at all vocal, to come out and say what you've been wanting to hear, like, in terms of direction, like, because I can understand from a hockey perspective why the team may move on, but that's not what's at play here. I just wanted to get clued in to the direction. I wanted to know if Bob wanted to stay here. We're getting answers to all those questions, and it's cool to see this team bounce back from a form perspective when they decided we're not going to be trading any of these guys that helped get us there. We're going to ride this thing out, and we're going to come back next season with a vengeance. And to see them take that message from the front office and to translate into 3 consecutive victories on the ice against teams ahead of them in the standings that they need to catch, it's been great to see, Roy.
Bobby. Yeah, he's getting paid $10 million a season. I'm looking for him to take a team discount like Sam Bennett and the rest of those guys took in the offseason. But yeah, the way he's been very good the last 2 games that he's played, and
Annoying.
It's annoying. Like I'm fine with them not.
It's not annoying. Like you're
It's
upset
annoying
when
because he played like shit all season, and then as soon as we're out of it. I mean, I know we're not technically out of it. We're out of it, and now he's playing well. It's just annoying.
But listen, I'm fine with them missing the playoffs. They need the rest. They've played an equivalent. They played an equivalent of a full regular season in the playoffs the last 3 years. They need the rest.
So anyway, I'm glad you brought up the Panthers there.
Bam doesn't need rest.
Now, Chris, going back to your vacation.
What's up?
Your wife's into the smut, huh?
Dude, ever since Heated Rivalry, she's just into the whole genre. Yeah. I mean, it's not just, she does it all. Like, she doesn't discriminate. She'll go, it's a whole thing. MF, MM, FF.
Whoa.
Wow. That's literally.
You know about that FF?
It's like
Mike Fuentes?
The love story. It's either male, female, male,
Dave, you know
male.
about that FF?
You know that FF?
No. Tell me more, Cody.
It's
Please
what it is.
Plug me in.
It's like what the love story. It gives you a little like when you're looking at a cover. Okay,
FF, female.
It's a female love story. MM, it's 2 males. MF, it's male, female.
What about that FMF?
You know, they don't. She loves it all. She reads about like 6 books a week. It's all she's doing every day. We're like watching a show. Finally, for Paradise.
Just reading smut all day long?
Well, I mean, there's pros and cons, but I think she won't stop. And I finally we're watching Paradise. We're watching Paradise, and I'm like, oh, this is a good scene. I look over, and she's like, I'm like, no. If we're watching a show, the smut goes away for a half hour.
Your wife has a porn addiction, is what you're saying. Is that the long and short of it?
A written word porn addition.
I wouldn't call
It's
it
very
porn.
popular. Like, she's not the only one. She's got a whole all the
like
wives.
a Fabio? Like, are you talking about like the? I mean,
She's got a whole
I know
friend
that's
group. They're all
another
into it.
generation, like the Fabio books.
Is it a smut book club?
Yes. There's like a whole group chat.
Zaz, you know about that smut book club?
I don't.
It is
but
a
I'd
little.
like to.
My wife is like the leader of it, though. Because we sometimes
What
hang
do they
out.
talk about?
It's a bunch of couples, and they're always just like, Christy tells us what to read. We all listen to her. If she suggests it, that means it's a good one.
Couples. Are you a part? Oh, so you're not dragged into this, or are you?
Ooh,
Good for you.
thank you.
Do
what
you
I
read
said.
it?
No, but I do like to play the game of looking over her shoulder. I'm telling you,
Gets the toes tingling, huh?
the word throbbing is just I can't look over her shoulder
Yeah.
without seeing the word throbbing.
Good for you, dude.
I think everybody is thinking the same thing, right? Like you're just about a half step away from a key party, right?
I like the party.
But we know what a key party is, right?
Of course.
Dude,
Right.
I don't
Is
know
that
if,
where Chris Cody's
I don't
headed?
know if Chris knows what he's talking about.
I thought a key party was like, hey, we're drinking, so everyone put your keys in the bowl here because
Nope.
we're no drive. No one's driving home today.
No, wait. Keep going. Tell me what you think a key party is. Is it like we all put our keys in a bowl because we're all drinking.
Well, yeah, 'cause
and
we don't-
that's a safe
and then we're
keep-in.
putting it away and no one's driving.
Yeah, the Ubers.
Close.
Is it a thing where you pick the keys out? It's like I'm going home with this person.
Yes, you finally got there. Good job.
You know about that ice storm?
Ooh,
Starring Kevin Kline?
I want to park my car in that garage, huh, Dave?
You want to plug in? You're gonna get plugged, but good.
Hey, yo.
Now I'm starting to feel uncomfortable.
So back to the original part of this conversation. You're trying to catch up on NFL news. You do know that Kyler Murray yesterday signed with the Vikings, right?
I did see that. I saw the funny meme of him walking through the Vikings facility, but it was a baby walking through a
So
hospital.
many memes of like little people, and they're like Kyler Murray arriving
People
to the
hate
Vikings
Kyler
facility.
Murray. People don't like Kyler Murray.
Dave, you saw all of these? Like so many memes. Kyler Murray, and it's like a child walking through the airport on his way to Minnesota. Why do we treat Kyler Murray like he's 4 feet tall?
It's 5 feet tall.
I think we resent him, at least I do, because, when I see, it's like Brad Pitt with the most beautiful women in the world. It's like, okay, that makes sense. He's Brad Pitt. Dan Marino makes sense for being an NFL superstar versus me. He's 6'4" and has a rifle for a right arm. Kyler Murray, it's like he then makes me doubt myself. He lowers my self-esteem. Like if he can make it in the NFL at 5'10", I feel like he's showing me up. It feels like I didn't work hard enough. I should be in Kyler Murray's shoes, given that he overcame being 5'10". But either way, I kind of like that he went to his favorite childhood. I mean, way back to where we started 30 minutes or so ago, it's kind of cool that he went to his boyhood favorite team.
Oh, is that
right?
true? That was his favorite team growing
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, he was claiming that he would cry after big-time defeats. I mean, that's one way to ingratiate yourselves to a Vikings fan base. But I think it's an interesting fit. I'd like to just talk football here for a second with Dave.
Yeah.
Because I think KOC has deserves a benefit of the doubt when it comes to quarterback reclamation projects. Not AOC, KOC. But what he did with Sam Darnold was amazing. J.J. McCarthy, everyone has kind of decided stinks because they're doing a little confirmation bias with what they saw in college. And he's been injured. He's had some moments in the NFL. It'll be an interesting quarterback battle. I don't think they promised Kyler Murray the QB1 job. What's your takeaway from this acquisition by the Minnesota Vikings?
Well, the declaration for weeks on end, which I think was probably informed by everybody understanding that that's what the Vikings wanted to do and that Kyler was incented to go to Minnesota. But the declaration by the national voices that, like, well, this is the obvious only place for Kyler to go here, I don't exactly get because of exactly what you just said, Mike. He's entering into a competition with J.J. McCarthy, and KOC, to some degree, okay, they showed the GM the door, but KOC had a hand in bringing J.J. McCarthy in, and I get it's sort of like for the QB whisperer conversation, Kyle Shanahan has Trey Lance, that's his one strike, and KOC, it appears, is, or at least looming, is J.J. McCarthy was his choice, and that may not work out. But by bringing in Kyler Murray, if Kyler Murray has a bad game or two, isn't there going to be some push from KOC to, like, let's see if J.J. McCarthy can turn things around? By that alone, I think there are better spots for him. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would have been a great spot for him. I think the reason he wasn't chased harder by the Steelers or why he didn't pursue the Steelers more is because it was understood Aaron Rodgers is already aligned with the Steelers for 2026, which is even crazier than Kyler Murray entering into Minnesota for a quarterback competition with J.J. McCarthy.
It feels like it's kind of
I don't know if I
job,
rambled
right,
too much there to answer your question. I think it's Kyler has pole position, but I do think in football terms, KOC, what he wants optimally is a distributor, a guy who throws short and intermediate passes, gets the ball into the hands of Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. That doesn't exactly speak to Kyler Murray's skill set. Mike McCarthy, in his optimal offense, if you look back 15 years or so ago when he had, ironically, Aaron Rodgers in his prime, it's a lot of that boot rollout stuff that Aaron Rodgers used to torture NFL teams doing. Kyler Murray is better suited to doing that than Aaron Rodgers at 43 is. It really feels like, as I said the other day, it feels like they should wife swap before they get married. Kyler should be the Steelers quarterback and Aaron Rodgers should be the Vikings quarterback. That makes way more sense to me than what the reality is going to end up being.
But they had the opportunity and KOC basically said no. Right? Like the Aaron Rodgers wanted to go to Minnesota and it was like, hey, nah, like we're good. We've got, the guys that we've got in this locker room. And it's interesting because I think J.J. McCarthy's going to be given the first kind of crack at being number one. But then if he has a couple of bad games, how long are the Minnesota Vikings fans going to be like, all right, we need to see Kyler Murray out here making sure that we have some – because, Dave, you can talk about it. Their roster is one of the best rosters in the NFL. If they had a quarterback, they could be making legitimate noise in the playoffs.
I completely agree with that. If they get the QB right, they absolutely have a Super Bowl run in them. And I know people keep pointing to what happened with Sam Darnold, and there are a number of examples now out there. And I think that is in line. I'm surprised, though, Tony, is that something KOC, is that something the Vikings have voiced in the last 24 hours, that they think J.J. McCarthy is in the pole position right now and Kyler's going to have to win the gig? I don't understand why Kyler Murray would want to enter into a QB competition because there were available opportunities for him to be a starter in a prove-it year.
Yeah, nobody's come out and said in Minnesota, hey, yeah, JJ's our number one guy. We're going to make sure that he's got, the best opportunity to make this team win and whatever. But that hasn't come out and been said.
Maybe it being his favorite team played a big role.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I think that would be absolutely spiritually cool if that were the case. I think practically there, like
Doesn't
I
work
say,
that way.
there was at least one that I can see, but maybe multiple spots where he would be the clean starter without any competition, and why you wouldn't take that if you're in the spot career-wise that Kyler Murray's in right now in a, like I say, a prove-it year.
My bad, Zaz. It just feels like KOC, the front office, whoever's, kind of in the building looking around at JJ McCarthy being like, all right, we kind of got to get off this because it hasn't really worked. It doesn't look like it's working. Maybe we bring in Kyler Murray halfway through the season. He can come in and be a plug-in guy, and then we can go try and get somebody next year, free agent-wise or trades or whatever. But it just feels like the JJ McCarthy era has come into a very screeching halt.
Well, it's over. If they roll with Kyler, what then do you do with JJ McCarthy? Because practically, again, I know I'm obsessing about the Steelers, but they have a void at quarterback, and so they, that would make some sense.
I mean, there can't be some kind of market, Dave, for a guy who was, what was he, top 10? Was he number 10 overall, J.J. McCarthy? He's only had 1 year of playing experience. There's not a trade market for that guy?
Not even a year. I mean, we've already rendered a verdict on him. I mean, he's played 2.5 quarters.
That's what I'm saying.
It feels like. Yes, of course. And, Malik Willis, I don't know if you heard about where he landed. I mean, he's played he's played a little bit more, I guess, than J.J. McCarthy, but we've already decided that he's the man. And by the way, you do kind of have to project. When you get desperate in the quarterback league, you do have to shift into the Malik Willis conversation a little bit here. You do have to swing a little bit bigger there. The metaphor for me is, if you're playing with house money a little bit, you can afford to go up to the craps table and make the sober place bets on 6 and 8 and back it up with double odds and all of that. If you're the Dolphins, if you're the Steelers, if you're a team that doesn't have the answer yet at quarterback, then you have to get up to the roulette wheel and put it all on one number and hope it comes up. You have to take some chances here because until you solve that position, you are nowhere in the NFL. So I think that makes sense. But moving on from J.J. McCarthy, unless KOC is looking at the man in the mirror and saying, you missed on this one, fella. It. Let's just move on and get Kyler in there and pretend JJ never happened. If that's the reality, maybe, but I still think without knowing what's inside KOC's head about the guy he drafted, I think he's going to be incented to try to make JJ work at least this season. At some moment, at some point in the NFL season, he's going to put JJ McCarthy in there to see what he's got, right?
More likely to have success in their new spot, Kyler Murray or Tua?
I mean, I agree that the Vikings have a pretty good roster, and the only thing that's in their way, as we sit here in March, is that they happen to be in the NFC North.
Falcons have really good offensive players.
Yeah, right. I mean, there were spots to me, and like I say, the national voices who decreed, like, well, where else is Kyler going to go? Is that a rhetorical question? Because I got a bunch of opportunities for him that are better than the one in Minnesota. Yeah, I get it. He's throwing to Justin Jefferson, but it's also it's fundamentally the wrong offense for what Kyler can do.
I kind of don't hate the spot for Tua in Atlanta, and I know I may be kind of on the outs of that, but like the supporting cast that he has around him, the Drake Londons, the Kyle Pitts, the Bijan Robinsons, like. If Stefanski can kind of work this offense where Tua's quick throwing and doing the stuff that he was doing with McDaniel, I don't hate it. Playing in a dome, playing in a pretty soft division.
I agree. It does feel, though, like when you watch Tua, like every defensive coordinator knew exactly what Tua was going to do. I mean, it was weird watching Tua this past year. It felt sad, like he was outmoded from some different generation or something. But otherwise, though, Tony, yeah, I like that Falcons team quite a bit in that eternally bum division that is inexplicably always the winner is somewhere between 8 and 9 and 9 and 8, or at least that's how it feels. Yeah, I think Tua can absolutely make a go of things in Atlanta. And for the millionth time, I will say, because that's where Zaz and I first fell in love, was on our agreement. The entire Mike McDaniel Tua era blew up in that one loss to the Titans or on Monday night, or else we would have completely different opinions of the Miami Dolphins over the last few years. They would have won a playoff game. Who knows where they might have gone.
I don't know if you know this, Dave Damashek, but speaking of quarterbacks, we do have a quarterback in this room. Tony?
I heard about that.
Dave, did you know once upon a time I was played some quarterback in high school, ended up choosing the basketball route, which I probably shouldn't have. Long story short, Andrew Hawkins thought I could have played tight end in college. I still agree with him on that part. That's another story for another day. But I did try out. I was working out. I was getting my body ready. You say 6'4" with a rocket arm, that's also me. I can throw the ball about 60, 65 yards. Like, I had some of that stuff working for me, so I got a QB coach.
No one's going to check him on that 60, 65 yards?
I can go do it if you want.
Let's hear it.
Do we have a football?
So wait, physical specimen like Jamarcus Russell then. So the problem was between the ears.
It was yes. The problem was between the ears.
It's a throbbing specimen.
Can you throw a real football 65 yards or one of them fake ones?
No. I don't throw little footballs.
One of them
Is it one of those
ones.
Nerfs with like the fin on it?
No, with
that,
the fin, no
squeals
fin.
when you
Give me a real big football.
Get to the punchline.
Give me a real big football. So, Dave, we're getting there. I'm going to FIU at the time, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to just try out for the team. Maybe I can make scout team. Maybe I can be a taxi squatter. I can just be a part of the program, right? So I get to walk on tryouts. They start running the 40s. They start doing this and that, and you work out, whatever. And I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm ready to go. Like, obviously, I don't have tape because I'm, 3 or 4 years out of high school. Like, I don't really have tape on me. So we get to the quarterbacks. Everybody comes in. Coach goes, all right, guys, excited to see all of you. You look really good. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to start here. Everybody get in the line at the 30-yard line. Let me see your 3 steps. Let me see your 5 steps. Let me see your 7 steps. And I'm like, all right, perfect. We start hitting it. Boom. I'm back. And he's like, all right, so what we're going to do is we got the wide receivers coming in, and we don't have footballs. So everybody looks around like, yeah, so the problem is if we would give you guys footballs, we'd actually have to take a day of practice away from the real team. So we're not going to do that.
I mean, no one's able to run a sports authority, pick up some balls?
Again, NCAA at that time, they were like, nah, you can't. If you give balls to the walk-ons, you have to take a day of practice away from the real team.
I mean, that is some real stupidity.
I agree. It was the bullshit.
Chris Cody's wife's getting hot with all this talk about giving balls to people.
So
wow. Jeez, Dave.
Damn. So he's like, all right, what we're going to do is wide receivers are going to run a post. You're going to run a 5-step drop and then throw the ball to him. So I sit back and I'm like, okay, we do our cadence. I sit back, boom, 5-step. I let it go. And the guy's like, nice.
I think that's when you got to show off and just throw it 65 yards downfield. Even though there's a receiver right there, be like, just to show him you can do it.
Well, I did.
Just chuck it down the field.
I did. I threw it as hard as I could. Shadow. So at the end of it, they were like, all right, guys, everybody did a great job. Nobody made it. And that was that. So I did the entire tryout.
Well, what would it have taken for someone to make it when they didn't give you a football?
It was a sham. It was a witch hunt.
These guys know what they're looking for. They're looking for form. They're looking for footwork. Okay?
Witch hunt?
Tony, you just didn't have it, dude.
So a guy who's 6'4", you don't want to sniff around and be like, you know what? What if we give this guy a football?
He saw
Let's
enough.
Just see it.
He saw enough.
Just look at me in a uniform. You want me on this team.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand why they didn't bring footballs to a football.
I agree.
Tryout.
Thank you, Dave.
At least bring a pine, or at least tell the players to the candidates to bring their own football, or have fun with it and bring a pineapple or something like that to throw
Something
around.
football shaped would have worked. We had nothing.
Yeah.
Chris knows about that.
Damn it.
He's unplugged.
Upside down.
So, Mike, something caught my attention earlier today, and Ticketmaster, Live Nation, that's how you get the tickets. Everybody knows that. But if you know anything about the ticket industry, and I happen to know a lot, people call me the Ticket Ninja, and you will know that that business is really shady.
Yes. Right? I mean, you're a Pearl Jam fan. They've been fighting against the monopoly of Ticketmaster.
They went
Live
all the way
Nation.
to Supreme Court.
Yes, and everybody was hopeful because there is consensus buy-in from American consumers Taylor Swift was a real impetus for this because her fans would always try to get tickets to her concerts, and bots would swarm this thing, and these fees were like outrageous.
I just went through this with Metallica last week.
Fees are outrageous. The consumer gets boned here in America when it comes to ticketing.
My wife
and
knows
so
about that.
There was an antitrust case that went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Biden administration was really the driving force about breaking up this monopoly because they essentially run the entire ticketing industry and there is no competition. Competition would at least keep these companies honest.
Well, and to add some, context to that, when Pearl Jam fought against Ticketmaster, to show the control that Ticketmaster Live Nation has, Pearl Jam decided they're not going to use Ticketmaster, but as a result of not using Ticketmaster, they also had to book all the venues on their own, and it was small venues that ended up creating a huge logistic problem for them because all the main venues across the country are tied to Ticketmaster.
So this case was headed to the Supreme Court, and this week the DOJ copped a deal with Live Nation Ticketmaster that, in a punitive sense, only really accounted for what is tantamount to 4 days of revenue for Live Nation Ticketmaster, and they, in essence, get to keep their monopoly. Now, on the state side, this battle isn't totally over. States do have some power here, but ultimately, feels like Live Nation Ticketmaster got away with it, and there is no change. The top lawyer when it came to the antitrust division of the DOJ was fired. It seemed to be a Biden-led legislation, and they decided to just do away with it, and many consumers feel like Live Nation Ticketmaster were off the hook. Then, yesterday, there were all sorts of leaks from internal emails from Live Nation that these people that are high up, one person is still presently running all the amphitheaters in their library, they're laughing at the American consumer. Quote, "We're robbing these people blind." I almost feel bad how we're taking advantage of these people. And it really chaps my ass how the American consumer always loses here with something as popular as this isn't fair.
It's not like this in other countries with their ticketing system, right?
Maybe for musicians, but there are protections. Like the European sports consumer has so much power. They blew up a multi-billion-dollar Super League deal. I know someone that runs business operations for a Premier League club. If he raises sodas 27 cents, he needs to have a town hall. Here, they just keep getting away with this monopoly, keep charging you fees. You don't even, like you and I were talking about it with Metallica, I don't even try anymore to get tickets when they're the moment that they're put on sale.
Yeah, it's not. It feels like Dave for me. And again, I'm pretty good when it comes to the ticketing system. I know how to get the tickets, pre-sales, all of that stuff. It's the same for me as what Mike just said, where I don't even participate anymore in the on sale. You go back 15, 20 years ago, you want to go to a show, you better be on at 10 a.m. right when those tickets get on sale and scoop up your tickets. And now that's not even the way to go about getting tickets anymore.
Oh, I'm old enough to remember even before that. You guys are talking about the newfangled trying to jump online at just the right time. I remember sleeping outside. I didn't personally do that, but I remember a lot of people who did it and showing up hours and hours in advance to try and get Jane's Addiction tickets and all that kind of
thing. At the local Ticketmaster outlet, right? Like down here, it was Peaches. Peaches Music,
Sam Goody,
Specs Music was Sears. Those were Ticketmaster outlets here.
Tower, you would go places like that. But yeah, people literally would sleep outside to try and get tickets. I guess Duke fans still try to do that to get in to Cameron. But I'm always struck by the fact, the incongruity of how much these tickets cost. It's sort of like, and this happens in Miami and Los Angeles both. I drive around LA. And I look at Bel Air to Pasadena to Malibu, Beverly Hills, and all of these, and I am always struck by who in the hell is filling all of these places. How are there enough people in America, let alone in one city, to fill all these multi-million-dollar mansions? And the same is true when you drive around Miami too. How do these bands, how do these, Bruce Springsteen or any, how do they survive? Like, who are the people that go to these shows? Who populate all these shows paying those ticket prices, given the economy in these United States right now? It's very weird.
It's such a great question because I thought this recently, like this past summer, I took my younger son. He and I went to go see WWE SummerSlam up in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. And WWE tickets these days are astronomical, like TKO, like they're robbing people, all right? But people are paying it, so it is what it is. But I had the same thought where we're at this show, and we sit close to the ring, and I know how much these tickets close to the ring cost. And I look at some of these people like, how did you afford to get here? How did you pay for this? Like, how are you here? And yeah, I have those exact thoughts too. How are people affording
credit card debt?
It has to be.
It's really
debt.
easy.
It has to be.
I had the same idea. It's like I see people in Miami all the time. Everybody's just walking around. Like people just walking their dogs and just like out at the beach. Like, what do you do? And then you get into an Escalade. It's $160,000.
OnlyFans.
It can't just be OnlyFans.
Yep. Well, credit card debt is at an all-time high. Previous administrations tried to cap interest rates. They're not doing that. The consumer in America just continues to get boned. You don't even have your day in court. That's what's so frustrating about this. It's as arbitrary as a Department of Justice saying, no, we'll take it into our own hands, and the punitive measure is none. None. They get to keep their monopoly. The system stays unchanged. You get unchanged. You get to continue paying fees that are just made up. Fees that internally in emails, they're just laughing. They were literally laughing about $250 for parking sound good. It was just a scene in Goodfellas.
Well, and not just that right there. There also seems to be something going on with the ticketing system where there are these programs. I don't know. Have we talked about this yet on the show? Where there are these programs online. I think airlines use it also. But where the ticket systems, they can track how many times you're checking to purchase tickets. And if you're doing it multiple times, they know that this is something you really want.
Yes.
So the ticket prices, they don't lower, they actually rise because they know it's something that you really want or you really need.
Again, like this is another thing.
How is that allowed?
The previous administration tried to penalize the airline industry here, where you at least would have some.
That definitely happens with airlines.
You would have some consumer protections if they weren't on time. You would get refunds, and this administration rolled that stuff back too. Why? Who's asking for this? Who's asking, hey, you know what I love about America? What a pain in the ass it is to get a flight to go see a concert, because I love paying $300 fees that are just totally made up from internal documents. We just keep taking it up the butt.
It's for the people who fly on
Not gonna say
private
anything.
jets. It's the people who fly on private jets who make all the money off of that. And then we talk about, how can all of these people afford to live in those homes? Well, it's all the people who then don't have homes. That's how that happens.
Maybe a couple less $1 million. Maybe be happy with $5 billion as opposed to like 5.4. Like, this is insane. They say that this stuff is going to change. You actually start seeing it change, and then the political pendulum swings, and we decide we don't want consumer protections. I feel like that's a bipartisan issue. We should have consumer protections.
Is it? I mean, what you always hear is, and I don't want to sound like a pretentious ass, or I mean, I guess that's unavoidable for Dave, but is it what people describe that it's just corporations and foreign entities buying up property, or do they also buy up, say, season tickets? I mean, who has all these luxury boxes? It would end if people stopped. If the luxury boxes weren't populated, if the front row seats at MSG and Staples Center and otherwise, or whatever they call it now.
No, it is a class thing.
If people stop doing that, right?
It is a class thing, and there is absolutely going to be a reckoning in this company where all right, you guys have been on Fox News saying about going on and on about class warfare. Next time, it will actually legitimately be that way. But at the very least, if you want, look, I'm a capitalist. I would love free market capitalism. Free market capitalism would mitigate a lot of this stuff. We're all pissed off about bots. From the left side of the political spectrum to the right side of the political spectrum, we want to be able to buy tickets online. The second they go out, if we're going to go that extra mile and be online with a little pre-sale passcode,
It's not worth it
we
anymore.
want to be able to get these tickets. But no, you're not going to get the tickets that you want because bots are going to do it. A way to mitigate that would be break up monopolies. Keep these venues honest. Have a company say, look, our way in this marketplace, our foothold in this marketplace is no bots over here. But if you keep this monopoly intact that is just gigantic with no real competition, as everyone's been mentioning, the structure right now works for them. It's perfect for them. And it's terrible for the consumer.
Dave, I don't know if you saw last week when I tried to get Metallica tickets because they're playing at Sphere. And I jumped into the pre-sale where on Ticketmaster, you jump into the queue, and the queue tells you how many people are ahead of you before it's your turn to enter into the space where you could purchase the tickets. And I didn't end up getting tickets for that show because in my queue, there was 305,000 people ahead of me.
Listen, I hate to get up on Mount Pius about it, but Mike just is exactly right. I keep saying it. It's not left versus right. It is grotesquely wealthy versus all the rest of us. And I am priced out of having a good seat for a game, so I just want to go to the next key party with the Codys.
Dímelo, mi gente, estamos aquí en vivo at the World Baseball Classic in Miami. What we're going to do is we're going to watch as little baseball as possible. We're going to go out, we're going to have fun, we're going to try food, we're going to dance, beat drums, we're going to hit la huida, we're going to wave flags, we're going to do all that stuff. So with all that, let's go have some fun.
How's the vibe right now in the World Baseball Classic?
It is high, it's filled with energy.
Super, super up. Give me 3 words to define Dominican culture.
Vibes, flavor, salami. Está metiendo la yema con el salami, pero nosotros somos los arepas. There's nothing like the atmosphere to a WBC Dominican baseball game.
All right, only can you get a game that's literally happening, but everybody's actually over here playing music instead of watching the game. We got the rooster here, we got everybody here while the game's been going on and nobody cares about the game. Why? Let's go.
Every hit, every strike, it's just a party. It's amazing.
Dominicans know how to cheer for baseball.
¡Que viva la República Dominicana!
Vibe was crazy. We were over at the bar. We had people playing drums. We had La Huida going. Like everything was lit. We had La Huida. Hold up, bring it up. Hey, vamos gente, vamos mi gente. Vamos, tírame el flow aquí. Ahí está.
My bad. We had the whole family come through. Come on, let's go. What's up? De lo mío, what's up, baby?
Le Batard Show, Tony, Mike Ryan, you take yourself too serious. Wow. This is my boy.
All right, we're back. We're back with the boys.
Venezuela is one of the biggest rivals of the Caribbean Series. It's going to be epic.
Mangú, salchichón.
Wow.
Y nos vamos los 3 golpes.
Mangú, queso frito, longaniza y salami, coño.
Pero falta algo.
Aguacate.
El aguacate.
We got the Venezuelan hot dog. Next one, we're getting the one El Tigre from DR. Let's go. El dieta empieza el lunes. The Dominican dog with los tostones on top. Little mariquitas, fire.
Tengo a Soto.
A Soto, ¿quién más?
La selección
La selección y el Alfa, que tiró el primer pitch. Vamos.
La República Dominicana, campeonato este año, no hay que hablar más nada. Somos los más duros. Platanazo, ¿viste? Wow. Ya tú sabes cómo es. Oye, estamos aquí representando a Dominicana. Ajá. ¡Vamos!
Platanazo.
Dale.
¿Qué tú quieres comer?
All right, we successfully did it. Went through the entire game. I'm pretty sure the Dominicans are winning because we danced more with the Dominicans. The Venezuelans looked a little bit sad, and we've had an incredible time. Ven, pasa, que somos familia. This has been incredible. I love the World Baseball Classic. Every time it's in town, I'm going to be here. But again, I'm not going to watch any of the game. We're just going to have vibes and fun and music and food and all that stuff. So, back to you guys.
So honestly thrilled to be doing this with you because I have admired your work. You are just such a sculptor. You're an artist as a comedian. It's sort of the
Why, thank you.
Well, the craft of it. It's such a hard way to make a living, Jay. I don't even understand how you make a living that way. I really don't. You have to be demented to choose, you know what? I'm going to laugh my way to the top. I'm going to take the expectation of funny, and that's how I'm going to get rich. Get out of here. It's crazy.
It seems sort of second nature to me. You know, I think it's one of those things is if it's what you like to do, it just comes. You know, I remember when I was in college, I'm dyslexic, so I would get out of any sort of written things, and I was taking speech therapy. And I remember the professor said, now at the end of the class, each student will have to give a 20-minute talk. And people went, 20 minutes? Oh my God, I get that. I thought, I'll do it right now. I'll talk for 20 minutes. Yeah, let's do this. You know? So it just struck me as funny.
But you could be funny in an instant? You knew that this was something?
No, not funny. I had to give a 20-minute talk. I mean, I didn't have routine. I wasn't a comedian yet, but it just seemed natural. I mean, I always read that getting eaten by a shark and public speaking are the two things most people are afraid, you know, that kind of stuff.
But not you, right? Like that, you didn't need attention, right? An audience just didn't scare you, right? Even though you were dyslexic, even though...
No, it didn't scare me. You know what's interesting? A lot of people don't realize, you remember the Smothers Brothers, right?
Yes.
Well, Tommy Smothers was dyslexic, and they were folk singers, but Tommy would get the songs wrong. Michael, boat the row ashore. No, it's row the what? And they made it part of their act. And that's kind of how they became a sort of funny comedy singing team, you know?
How do you watch stand-up comics? Because I imagine you are watching not just to laugh, but to see where the comic's insecure, where the comic looks off stage or looks at his feet. I imagine...
No, not really. I watch it just to enjoy it. You know, I like comedy. I enjoy watching comedians. You have to be careful when you're a comedian because someone does a joke and then you realize you never want to be on stage and that subject comes up and your mind immediately goes to that person. So you have to be careful not to try and take somebody else's material. You know, that's sort of the biggest trick. A lot of times you don't want to watch comedians do routine on a particular subject because if you're developing something along the same line, oh, now you can't do yours because it's too close to theirs or whatever it might be. But no, I watch it. You know, it's like I like to make love, but I don't want to be a gynecologist. You know what I mean? So I enjoy it just being, you know, just being around it and being with comics. It's always fun.
You came up through the pipeline of where stand-up comedy.
Against the Spread is brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Roy, what do we got?
All right, we got Kings and Islanders tonight. The Islanders have failed to cover the puck line against Pacific Division in the last 6 games. And the Kings have covered the puck line as underdogs in 7 straight games against the Metro Division. But looking at the stats, the Kings just do not score. And the Islanders are 7-3-0 in the last 10. So I'm going to have to go with the Islanders as the favorites at a goal and a half against the Spread.
Against the Spread. Tony.
A lot of analytics and numbers there from Roy. We're going to the vibes portion of Against the Spread. La República Dominicana. Just like you saw in the video of me going around town at the World Baseball Classic and hyping up all the Dominicans. Dominican Republic -4.5 on the run line against South Korea. Vamos a meter palo a todo mundo. That's what they told me. So I'm taking the Dominican Republic. The lineup in the Dominican Republic. Tatis.
Good pick.
Manny.
Keep going.
Hold on.
Manny?
Machado.
David Ortiz.
There's one Manny.
Hey,
there's one Manny.
Soto.
Miguel Tejada.
He's not there anymore. A bunch of guys in this lineup absolutely
Big Papi.
dominating. We saw him. Not that big. Thinned out a little bit.
I saw something on social of like that lineup, the Dominican lineup, and like I think was it 16 or something? Man, fire lineup.
It's crazy. They were just hitting home run after home run after home run after home run. Vladdy, like
Ketel Marte. Who's one of the most underrated players in baseball because he's in Arizona and not as many people are paying attention to him. He's amazing. The fact that you've got tonight, and this is here in Miami.
O'Neal Cruz doesn't even play.
Right. O'Neal Cruz has not been a starter for them for like the majority
Chris,
of this
where are they
tournament.
hiding this guy? He's huge.
It's crazy that you've got the DR and that team that may very well win it all. The way they're playing probably will.
This should be a wild atmosphere tonight, right?
It's going to be nuts. Like, you have DR playing in an elimination game as they're going against Korea, and then tomorrow night, it's Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the World Series MVP, starting for Japan against Venezuela. That's also a great team. That's tomorrow night, and those are both here in Miami. It's pretty cool to have this type of atmosphere here.
I'm looking at the prices because I checked out the prices the other day, and I guess maybe because I'd like to go actually, and I've been to the WBC before, like years ago, and it's an atmosphere, all right. But I checked recently, and I guess it was because of the matchup. The tickets were very expensive, but looking at tonight, tickets are pretty affordable. Actually.
Yeah, because you don't have that second team that's bringing so many people. Obviously, it's a long trip from South Korea to Miami, or Venezuela. You have Weston, you have Doral, and everybody's here.
You're going to have a ton of Japanese media that shows up.
We already started seeing them on Wednesday night when we were there. Like all the droves
preemptively, like preemptively coming here and getting settled. Because I remember, like last year during that championship game, I mean, there must have been like 200 media members alone, let alone fans that came over here because simply for Shohei, let alone the fact that now Yamamoto just won the World Series MVP. So the fact that you have those two guys playing together tomorrow night, and that Venezuela is great. Like, Venezuela could have won that game. They had an opportunity late. That's a team that if they lose here, like what a disappointment. It's the way it's set up in your bracket, but to then have a matchup where you'll have Japan against DR and likely for a chance to square up against the United States in a championship game here in Miami, like no matter who wins, you either get a rematch of USA and Japan, you could get DR against USA, which happened a few years back, which would be electric. Like, it's really cool that Miami gets a chance to have this type of moment here before the season even starts.
Zaz, you said like you're probably looking at the DR Venezuela game, which was $500.
I think the cheapest ticket was $400 to get in. Yeah,
it's insane. But we were able to go to different games. We went to the game in Nicaragua against Nicaragua. We went to the game against Israel, which was Monday, and then Wednesday against Venezuela. And it was like the Dominicans showed out every single time. They were just packed, that place. It was incredible. So anytime you can go to a Dominican, that's why
I'm thinking of going tonight.
For my package, I decided to follow the Dominican team because their fans are so amazing. They're so loud. They're so fun that's the atmosphere you want to see. So if you can get to a Dominican game, head out there.
Jeremy, can you?
Doesn't it?
Go ahead, Dave.
Can I just say very quickly on the WBC, I feel like MLB should be embarrassed. I see them on social media celebrating the events at the World, the bat flips and everything else. It's the antithesis of everything Major League Baseball stands for at this point. Shouldn't they adopt what we're seeing in the World Baseball Classic a little bit more? I mean, it really kind of, to me, stands as a black eye for what awaits us now in the regular season, which is more like mute your emotions. Stop acting like a human being might. And when it's on display here, it's joyous and a marvelous watch. And I couldn't give a crap about who wins the WBC, but it's still electric.
There's something about it that really it stems down to the youth level. Like what we've seen from Team USA, right? Where Team USA has more guys playing this time around than in years past. Like, they took it more seriously from that perspective, but we saw the way they went into their game, not knowing it was necessarily an elimination game, no matter what they try to say now. The vibes around the team where it's very muted as opposed to the joyous euphoria that you see. I mean, the way that the stadium would erupt at a walk, at a single the other way during that game the other night was amazing. And the players and the joy that they're playing with. And this is, Dave, like a construct of the fact that with Team USA, you have these kids playing showcase baseball from the time they're 12, 13 years old. The way that works if you're a pitcher is you show up, you throw as hard as you can for 2 innings, you leave and don't even finish the game, and you come back the next time you're pitching. Like, that's where we're at, and it's not as much of a team atmosphere caring about winning and losing. They only get to the winning and losing stage really when they get to the major leagues, because in the minors, it's also just about personal development if you're that excellent of a player. And so that versus what you get at the younger ages where you have these kids clawing out of whatever position they're in. Not to sound like Dan talking about the NFL, but like you have these kids coming from these other countries.
From third world countries
right,
where they have nothing.
Sandy Alcantara came from absolutely nothing. There's a reason that he's turning around and saying, I am available for whatever you need in the championship game, whether it's as a starter or a reliever. And you have guys, even like Matthew Boyd leaving Team USA, like, no, I got to get back to spring training. It's just a different mentality. And I really hope that what Team USA is seeing and what some of these stars are seeing playing against these teams and having a chance to witness it starts to break down that barrier a little bit. It's better than it was when guys like Brian McCann were in the league, but it can still continue to get better from here.
Yeah, or Carlton Fisk. But then the other example out there looming beyond the World Baseball Classic is the Savannah Bananas. I mean, that weirdness is more popular than the Major League Baseball version of what baseball is now. But you're absolutely right. It sort of has the vibe of like, we chose for our 10-year-old instead of golf to focus on that baseball. And it has that sort of proper vibe to it. It lacks a certain emotion.
Jeremy, to that point too, really quick, Zaz, I'm sorry. The juxtaposition of what you were talking about with the guys going to spring training and how David talked about yesterday, everything has already been negotiated. Everything has already been finalized with the club. Hey, you got X person for 7 at-bats. You've got this pitcher for 4 1/3 innings. Like, that's all you have them for. And then you have Sandy saying, like, I'll burn my arm out to try and win a WBC,
awesome. And
right?
he could do it on his home mound.
Right.
How cool would it be?
Because he knows he plays for the Marlins.
If Sandy pitched on Tuesday.
But that's it. But that's anybody there.
That. They're this team this
I
year.
know.
And
I'm
he's
excited
supposed to
about
start
this
on
team.
opening day.
I'm as excited about this Marlins
Didn't
team
sound
as
like
any
it.
team. I'm just going for the
But
team.
how crazy is that, though, right? Because if he pitches on Tuesday, like, he's supposed to turn around and start on opening day for them on Friday. So it does put him, but he's like, I'm out there, and the Marlins are
When's
right there
opening
encouraging
day?
it. On Friday of next week.
What?
Of the week
from
after
tonight.
that.
Oh.
Hold on.
And how about
27th.
I'm doing the
Tache?
dates wrong.
It's the 27th.
Yamamoto is going to pitch his final start and then stick around to provide emotional support for the team. And it's fascinating because I was just in Little Tokyo here in Los Angeles, and the national pride for Shohei and Yamamoto, it's all over the place with Dodger stuff, but specifically those guys. But now Yamamoto, is that going to create, like we talked about with, Sidney Crosby trying to play for Canada instead of playing for the NHL? Does that create some fraught emotions for Dodgers fans and for fans of guys that are clearly prioritizing the World Baseball Classic over their major league team that's paying them millions of dollars?
And you got USA Canada tonight, guys. It'd be pretty funny if USA beat Canada in hockey, but then Canada eliminated the USA in baseball. It would be
Hellebuck
insane.
throwing out the first pitch.
That's a good question. It's in Houston.
So this Sunday, we have Select Your Sunday. You can catch on the YouTube channel, 5:45 p.m. Eastern time. Dave is going to be here. You getting on the bird? You coming in?
Oh, no. I'll
All
be like
right.
this.
Good job out of me right there. So Select Your Sunday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern time. It's Selection Sunday. We have red carpet with the Oscars. It's a whole shebang, all right? Adnan and Samson and all of us. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I want to talk a little bit about the movies here, all right? I look at the Best Picture. And what happened to when we had 4, maybe 5 nominees for Best Picture, where I can realistically watch the show and I'm like, yeah, I got an opinion on all these movies because, it's only 5 movies. Now we got 10 Best Picture nominees. I'm sorry. Like, when they're doing the voting process, Dave, whichever one of these movies finishes with the 10th most votes, it didn't need to be nominated for Best Picture then if you finished 10th. Like you need 10 nominees? Dave, I've only seen 3 of these movies that are Best Picture out of the 10. Like, do you have any idea how many you've seen?
Well, I mean, so an hour ago, Chris Cody was lamenting having to watch sports too much. And now we have Zaz upset about having to watch too much movies.
No, but maybe I don't want to see all these movies. There's not 10 movies.
You have to watch them for work. You have to.
It's
for work.
It's because they were getting so much criticism about just having like the movies that no one ever watches, so they wanted to expand it so they could have the
That's
popular
right.
movies
Well,
and the artsy
It was a
movies.
marketing.
It was a straw man. No one was complaining really. Like Star Wars wasn't nominated. That this is a marketing ploy by the movie industry. Hey, Formula One was, F1 was nominated for Best Picture.
Right.
We have to go see this now because if you're nominated for Best Picture, that means you're an amazing movie. It's all marketing to get more people to the movies.
Like I haven't seen F1. It looks cool. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend so that I could talk intelligently about it on Sunday night. It looks like a fun movie, but you're telling me that if F1 was not nominated for Best Picture, people were like, oh my God, I can't believe F1's not nominated.
No, nobody would have minded that at all. But it's also a very political process too. You have producers with a lot of stroke in Hollywood, Brad Pitt and Jerry Bruckheimer behind it. So let's bring back tentpole box office summer smashes, and let's incentivize. Like, hey, if you're one of those that help buoy the theater industry, you're going to get some love come award season.
How many of these movies have you seen, Mike?
I've seen 7. So where you've seen 3, I'm only needing to get around to 3. And
which are the ones you need?
I need to watch The Secret Agent,
I didn't see that.
which I gotta see. I will be seeing that before Select Your Sunday. Train Dreams, I've heard mixed reviews
Never even
on.
heard of
I haven't seen that. And Sentimental Value, I am hoping to get to before our Sunday. Those are the 3 that I'm missing. But most people assume One Battle After Another is going to win this year.
I love that movie.
Of the 7 films that I've seen, it's a great year for movies in that I don't think there's like a clear lead dog for me. If a gun to my head, I think my favorite movie of these was Marty Supreme. I've rewatched Begonia. I love the performances there.
Man, Begonia, I saw that one.
Begonia, I really loved. I still have Marty Supreme just a tick over it. I loved One Battle After Another. Probably need to watch it again. Hamnet, I get it. Hamnet was...
Tony, you know about that Hamnet?
I don't know shit about that Hamnet.
Hamnet, like, it'll get you in the feels. It'll get you in the feels. Like,
Okay.
And this is a film that Jessie Buckley is going to win for Best Actress. This is a film that is built on the power of performance, drawing emotion out of you. It's kind of meta that way because you're watching a performance of a performance. And I loved Hamnet. It's a movie that really, really stays with you depending on some of the life experience that you've had. Hamnet is about William Shakespeare, he had a son whose name was
spoilers.
He had a son. No. This is like
Yeah, but I don't know what the hell it's about.
give me
Dave's
the
got a
plot.
Hamnet. I've never heard of that word in my life.
I just want the plot.
Yeah,
Dave.
I don't think if you want to know nothing at all about Hamnet, shut your ears for the next 5 seconds.
Who goes into a movie knowing nothing? I just want the
right?
plot.
Well, like I mean, part of this
Now
is
the next
also
5
like,
seconds.
History. Yeah. So wait, starting now. William Shakespeare's son dies, and he writes Hamlet as an ode to his soul and his memory. And William Shakespeare's wife watches this performance for the first time and goes through a whole range of emotions. But it's really about William Shakespeare's wife.
Well, why is it called Hamnet?
That's what I'm saying.
So, like, they actually explain it at the very beginning of the movie. There's, like, apparently no difference between Hamnet and Hamlet.
Is there a difference between Hamlet and Hamnet?
I know you're going to say there's an N and an L.
Yeah, N and L are different.
Yeah, apparently it's the
I don't know
same
what
thing.
language you're talking about.
It's apparently the same thing. But Hamlet was incredible.
I'm with Mike. I think, though, that this has been, in our cynical world, you have to express what you don't like about everything. I think this has been a banner movie year, and in fact, the best movie year we've seen in at least the last decade. I think it's in contention for the best movie year that we've had this century.
Have you seen all
there
these
are
movies
genuine-
nominated?
Yes, and Mike, you didn't mention Sinners, which also makes the winners.
I saw
stand
Sinners.
there. Ultimately, for me, it's one battle after another. It was all right. You didn't think?
No,
it was
it's all right. I liked it.
Movie
Careful.
I liked it.
Careful.
I liked it.
Careful.
No, I liked it.
You can't say it's all right.
That's all right.
Oh, I thought it was great. I thought F1 was only okay. Chris Cody's wife was like, F1, I'd be more into it if it was F2 or 3, but okay.
FF1.
Zaz, you know about that FF1?
Yeah.
Is the sequel called F2 even though it's a Formula One based movie? Because they're definitely going to do a sequel, especially now that it's nominated for Best Picture. I'm super pumped about this. I think this year, more than any other year, I'm not even that into the competition of Best Picture. I love the Best Picture nominees from last year. I kind of rated them a little bit more than this year, but that's
Who won
all right.
last year?
That's a great. Who did? Oh.
We looked this up on Football America. We were talking about this. About the
Honora. Yeah, Honora. Honora was great. That was one of the times I'm like, yes, my favorite movie actually won Best Picture. Anatomy of the Fall last year, I think, was nominated. No, that was 2 years ago. I loved that movie. That movie was incredible.
Last year was Amelia Perez, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Nickel Boys, Wicked, Dune Part 2, The Substance, I'm Still Here, Honora, and The Brutalist.
Yeah, last year was weak, but if Honora was slotted in this year's Best Picture nominees, I think I'd still rate Honora the best. 2 years ago, I thought that those were bangers. Anatomy of a Fall is one of my favorite movies of the last 5 years. But I think this year it's really performance-based. You have Jesse Buckley. You have Sean Penn. Sean Penn is reportedly not going to appear at the Oscars, which is a bummer because everybody kind of wants to see how that speech goes, given everything that's going on.
Is he like he's going to win?
Yeah, he's a heavy.
I know he was great.
Dave, I took a look at DK predictions, and I have some money on Benicio del Toro because I think he was just unbelievable and efficient. But it's going to be hard because he's not the best supporting actor in his own movie. I don't think they're going to split the votes at all. But Benicio del Toro, in terms of laughs per second and just knocking the assignment out of the park. If it weren't for Sean Penn in this very same movie, for me it's Benicio, but Sean Penn's got to run away with this thing.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying one battle after another is Boogie Nights for Anarchy. You know, it's really the pleasure. Say those two movies, it's the pleasure of the journey more than it is the destination. And once you understand that, sort of like the Big Lebowski too, the beginning, middle, and end are take a back seat to the people you meet along the way. And yeah, so I think Benicio del Toro is great. Sean Penn maybe a tick better there. It's funny too, in the same way we talk about QB draft classes, like Cam Ward is great, but he would only be the fourth or fifth quarterback in the draft prior to that. Begonia, which is an afterthought in this Best Picture race, would have won last year, but it's not even in the top 3 or 4 probably in 2026, right?
Yeah, I think it's neck and neck with Honora, but certainly, I mean, it is a distant underdog this year, whereas last year, a thinner year for great films. 2024 was a banger of a year. I think 2024, top to bottom, was better than this year. But Sinners is actually getting a lot of traction in the prediction market space, Zaz, because Michael B. Jordan ended up winning the Actors Award, and Timothée Chalamet's got like this whole weird moment in pop culture right now where he's gone from universally liked to people like forming a negative opinion about.
Why? I like Chalamet.
Because of the opera thing?
Because of the opera.
There's no way.
Whatever.
There's no way.
It's already headed that direction a little bit.
Do I have to
That's
remind everyone that
crazy.
opera sucks?
People don't get that.
It's such an easy concept.
People can't cape it up for the opera like they've ever been to one. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Don't look all disappointed
Also
like
the
that,
ballet.
Jeremy. Whatever,
Also,
man.
He took out the ballet too and opera.
I'm not here keeping up for the
When
opera.
was the last time somebody went to an opera in here? Please tell me.
Not me.
Okay.
I've never been to the opera.
It doesn't appeal
I
to
didn't
me.
even say anything.
Okay.
It doesn't appeal
but
to
then
me.
why is he getting tarnished because of an opera tape?
Because he took out an entire field.
Yeah.
of 17 people.
No, see, that's the part of it, right? Like
People
it's
are
an
caping
art
up for the
form.
opera, Jeremy, that nobody has gone to.
That's not the point. The point it was people within the industry, but more than anything, it's the idea. This is not. This is
Have
the
we
straw,
given the full context
This
here
is the straw
for
that
the people
broke
that
the
don't
camel's
know?
back for people. So Timothée Chalamet, we talked about it with Jess on Wednesday, but he was saying that he didn't want to be part of an industry like the opera, or I think it was ballet, that
nobody cares about.
Nobody cares
That
about.
was his quote.
But that was the part of the quote, but without the context of the full interview where he's saying, hey, the movie industry is headed in a strange direction. I don't want to have to be one of the people that like puts it on my back to keep it afloat. I want people going to the movies. I don't want what has happened to the opera and ballet with so few people going to it as compared to 50 years ago or 100 years ago.
Well, this is why a lot of people are saying Sinners has a real chance here. If there is an underdog to make a play on, it's Sinners because there's a lot of growing momentum. I saw Sinners, and the school of thought behind Sinners winning, much to the point of like having a larger tentpole box office smash like F1 be nominated for Best Picture, Sinners was huge for the box office. And there is a notion bubbling that if you reward a picture like Sinners, you get more movies made like Sinners, and that's a rising tide that lifts all boats. Like, I don't know how much like the industry will benefit from, you know, The Secret Agent winning, right? But the industry does stand to benefit from a film that had crossover pop culture appeal like Sinners winning, because most people have seen it and most people enjoyed it.
The irony is that Marty Supreme would kind of qualify in the same way, no? Because Timothée Chalamet was such a big star in the marketing campaign.
Yeah, but first of all, I don't know the timing on the voting. Are they pulling their votes for Timothée Chalamet? I suspect a lot of people have already cast their ballots at this point, so I don't know how they would retract them because of his opera-based statements. But I feel like Marty Supreme, Chalamet, and that is just based on his sort of particular intrinsic charisma, whereas it feels like if you look at the history of who wins Academy Awards, Michael B. Jordan is much more in line with, like, he played two guys. It wasn't just one guy. He was twins. It seems like that's the sort of shiny object that voters would react to. I'm surprised Michael B. Jordan isn't assumed to be the best actor this year.
Is there like an all-time, again, 5:45 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel? We're going live with Select Your Sunday, red carpet, and of course, selection show for the tournament. Is there like an actor or actress, although I can't think of an actress, but is there an actor or actress who is known as the best performance when they played two characters, like when you played twins?
Yeah, Lindsay
Lohan.
Parent Trap.
Multiplicity. She touched my pappy, Steve. Michael Keaton played like 20 dudes.
No. He says he's the same dude, man. Come on.
Well, they're clones, but like the clones aren't like
it's the same guy.
carbon
They got
copies.
dumber. Each clone got dumber.
Yeah, and that's why she touched my pappy, Steve.
It's like Mickey 17 with
that
Robert
movie.
Pattinson.
That movie is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Super entertaining, really terrible.
Really disappointing. Really disappointing.
Cool opportunity.
Follow-up effort.
Fun performance. Terrible movie.
Yeah, bad movie. But Zaz, I've seen your takes on Sinners. And number one, let me thank you for your courage.
My takes like they're out there. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Well, let me thank you for your courage.
Yeah.
You
Don't
got-
look at me like that, Roy.
You
You haven't turned around once during the show until now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, Roy turning around actually kind of plays into this because, look, Roy, I'm an ally.
Me too, Roy.
And I like Sinners.
Okay.
I like Sinners.
There's a butt somewhere in here.
I thought it was, when compared.
Now Chris Cody's wife's ears perked
Yeah.
up. There's a button here somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's in the bottom half of movies that are nominated, and I'm saying this very carefully because
I've
I've
seen 3 of them.
I don't mean to offend at all, but I just thought it was it was all right. It was good. Yeah, solid.
Here's where I stand on Sinners. It's good, and I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna turn around too.
Better than all right.
You
That's
know
what I'm
what?
saying. It was all right. It was
I'll
good.
look everyone in this room in the eye. All right, I don't care.
Zaz, I'm with you.
I say it with my chest out. I can't be scared. I'll say it right in front of your face. I'll look right in your eyes, Roy, while I say it too.
I'm right here.
I like Sinners. It's a good movie. Here's the part that I object to. Before I saw Sinners, I was made out to feel that this is the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I went into watching it.
A lot of people feel that way.
This movie is apparently going to change my life based on what I'm hearing about this movie. So it was built up very, very, very high. And then I watched Sinners, and it's like, all right, it's a good movie. That's it. It's good. My life didn't change.
Amin was right about you.
Everybody stop grilling me.
Yeah, it's
Tony, say something.
pretty bad take. I mean,
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
whoa.
Oh, God.
That's not the ally you want.
You got the whole point about the cultural appropriation, though, and everything, right? I mean, it works on 2 levels. It's a thrilling horror vampire movie with a valuable message.
What is Sinners MF? What is it?
Again, let me reiterate. What which part did I say I didn't like it and it was not good?
Did you?
I did like it, and it's a good movie.
Did you not like the musical part? Is that what bothered you?
I'll be perfectly honest.
Oh my.
I know there's a very deep meaning with the musical parts.
You like the blues?
But like I didn't understand it, you know. I know there is.
He
a
didn't
deep
understand
meaning.
that the banjo music wasn't the good music in the movie. He's like, wait, they're the bad guys, but this banjo is delightful. The little trio that comes to the front door of.
I didn't like them. They were nasty. I didn't like them.
I did like.
They
Jack,
were bad.
I
They were
really
bad.
did like Jack O'Connell's performance in it as the
Which
villain.
one was he? The main.
He was the
okay.
white guy. Yeah, so like he was.
His name is Jack O'Connell.
Yeah,
What a
he
range.
was. He was the guy singing like the little sea shanty. Like,
And you know what? I'll also be honest with you. When I went in to see Sinners, I had this impression that Haley Steinfeld apparently had the raunchiest of raunchy sex scenes.
it wasn't sexy enough.
Get out of here! It was a
It
normal
wasn't
sex
That
scene.
wasn't sexy
She-
enough
MF.
for you.
She
It was a normal sex
It was
scene.
MF. Yeah, and
All
it,
I've heard about the movie.
it was pretty hot, but
It was, but like Josh Allen is supposed to be embarrassed now.
So,
Come on.
my
It was the
favorite-
words more than the actions, honestly.
My actual favorite movie that I've seen over the last few
spitting in the
months,
mouth was a
including award season, is a Jack O'Connell vehicle, but it is not Sinners. It was actually The Bone Temple. Like for me, I like Bone Temple more than I like any of the other nominated films.
My wife's
right
read
now.
that.
I bet she did. Yeah. Now, Bone Temple's not for anybody, and you do need to see the previous sequel that came out 28
Yeah, I
years
wanna see it.
later.
I wanna see that.
But Bone Temple and Ray Fiennes' performance was incredible, and Jack O'Connell was unreal in that movie.
Again, I liked Sinners. I think it's really good.
I don't
That's
believe
it. That's it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Racist, I think.
What's the worst? We did this on Football America coming up in a matter of minutes into your YouTube and audio feed and into your heart soon after. What is the worst Best Picture that you can think of?
Crash.
Crash is, I think, the correct answer.
That's always the one for me whenever I hear this.
When you look at the movie, it's terrible, but now I can't think of the answer that we came up with. The worst movie, the most overrated movie that people still prop up as being good is Dances with Wolves. That movie does not hold up, and I will argue with anybody who tries to say otherwise.
Another
really bad.
reheated turd from Football America?
You're GD right. You're GD right. The truth is the truth. It carries.
Does he even dance with a wolf?
Dances with Wolves.
Kind of.
Dances with
Yes,
Wolves.
he does.
That's that movie that ripped
He does
off
dance with
Avatar, right?
It's true. Avatar. Here's my hot take on Avatar. You always read about biggest box office in the history of people. Then how come I have never met a soul who has seen any of those Avatar movies? I don't know anybody who's seen them. I've never heard anybody invoke them,
Brother.
in pop culture.
What?
Okay, maybe I've known a dozen or so people who've seen them and been like, yeah, it's neat to look at. I've never heard anybody reference it. They have nothing to do in pop culture. I mean, people make Star Wars references 50 years after the fact. Nobody ever talks about Avatar. Something ain't right. Something's fishy here.
Keep in mind that Dances with Wolves won the Best Picture Oscar over Goodfellas.
For ripping off Avatar?
That's what I'm thinking of. That's right. Goodfellas. That's right. It beat out Goodfellas. Shame the devil.
What movie is that? Dances with... I've never heard of this movie in my entire
You never heard
life.
of Dances
It's
with Wolves?
Avatar,
Wow.
but not with blue
It's
people,
what
so
Avatar
what's the
was
point?
based on.
Yeah, no,
Kevin
it's the
Costner.
It's the other way around.
And that
Avatar
beat
was first.
Goodfellas?
Yeah.
Yes.
What year was that?
So
Never heard of Dances with Wolves?
Never heard of Dances with
It
Wolves
was
ever.
the-
Wow.
Yeah,
Look it up.
I am one of those people that has seen every Avatar, and I've seen them all in the movie theater. And
Wow.
I like Avatar.
I kind of do
Do
it
you
as
do the 3D?
I have. I kind of do it
I
as
can't.
a
I
rib.
get vertigo.
I do.
Everybody knows that about
I do it as a rib because I don't really like the Avatar. Although the second one wasn't bad. Second one was pretty solid.
Yep.
But I saw the third one, 20 milligrams in College Station
yeah.
before the CFP game, and I fell asleep. It's bad. The third one, straight up bad.
The gummy could have.
No, and the bottle of red wine that I had to myself also may have played a role. What do you mean, oh my God?
That's what's putting you to sleep.
It
was the movie.
Sounds like a damn perfect evening.
Oh, it's a great night.
It wasn't.
Absolutely.
The thing is, it wasn't an evening.
It was an afternoon.
It was
right?
2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was killing time before I hit the
It does
town
sound
in
like a
College
great day.
Station, telling everybody that we were going to kill him. And we did, to the tune of 10-3.
Yeah, he did.
Gale force winds out there.
What a
It
game.
was so windy.
Bryce Fitzgerald, thank you.
So many
Thank you.
missed field goals.
Thank you.
So it was the
Can I just say again, real quick?
Sure.
I just want to extend my heartfelt congratulations
Doing this thing?
to the Miami Hurricanes on a really great.
All right, Roy, cut him off.
I mean,
Yeah.
you came
Okay.
up a little short,
All right,
but
fade
hey,
him down,
very
please.
good.
All right,
Thank you, Dave.
It was the 1991 Oscars for the movies that came out in 1990. Dances with Wolves won. It beat out Awakenings, Ghost, The Godfather Part 3, and Goodfellas.
Oh, I can't believe Godfather 3 got nominated.
Godfather 3 was
That
nominated?
was a legacy thing.
Ghost.
Hey, what? You don't like Ghost?
You're nuts. You
I
like
don't-
Ghost. You're a nuts man.
No, I didn't say I don't
So's-
like
oh.
Ghosts. I said it's a good movie. I said it's a good movie. I can't do a Zaslow like you guys can. Mike Ryan has.
You know about that
whether
pottery?
whether or not he intends to or not, he talks like Zaslow. You know who really talks like Zaslow? Dan Le Batard. I don't think he realizes how the influence that Zaslow has had on his patois. But yes, I mean, listen, that's the worst. Maybe Chariots of Fire beat out E.T. That was bad. Star Wars not winning against anything is crazy, given its cultural impact.
Who
But
did
yes, Goodfellas losing.
Shakespeare in Love
is
also
crazy.
beat out some really good movies when it won.
I
Shakespeare
think
in
it
Love.
beat out Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, which was an abomination. Just straight up. Like,
Crazy, but pretentious Dave will tell you that sometimes, not every time I sit down to watch a war picture, Thin Red Line that same year might be a superior war movie.
Really?
Or at least the statement it makes about the taking of life and all of that. Like I say, now, I'm not so pretentious that if you said you have 2.5 hours to kill, I'll take Saving Private Ryan. That's a heavy lift too. But I find that movie is confused. I think Steven Spielberg, may I say, he's a writer. I'm a writer. We're people, both of us. I can say this. I think Spielberg says one thing in the first 20 or 25 minutes of the movie and then says something very different and kind of contradicts the first 20 or 25 minutes of the movie the rest of the way with Saving Private Ryan.
I just can't believe in 07 that The Departed beat High School Musical.
Departed.
I mean, The Departed, talk about an overrated movie. The Departed. Sheesh.
I mean, there's one reason, and one reason only why Shakespeare in Love won that Oscar for Best Picture is because of Harvey Weinstein and the political pressure he put on the Academy.
Whoa. Really?
Yes, he was the producer on that movie.
Famously. Weinstein had a lot of...
But why did he put pressure on the Academy for that movie in particular?
Well,
Because that was his movie.
That was
No, I
his
understand, but he had lots of movies.
Yeah, but that was the movie that had the best opportunity to win Best Picture.
Is that the only time one of his movies won?
No. Harvey Weinstein?
Well, that's why I'm asking. Like,
Harvey
why?
Weinstein, the film producer?
That's what, why so much pressure for that movie?
I just really wanted to win.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It works. It was
He
a
gets
dumb
what he
selection.
wants.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not
So
get crazy.
select your Sunday. This was a big organic Oscar conversation that we had.
I enjoyed this. I didn't enjoy when everyone was looking and staring at me.
More of that to come this Sunday.
I didn't enjoy in The Departed that the criminal mastermind, Jack Nicholson, couldn't figure out, and his crew of 5 people, all of them were with him for 20 plus years. But the new guy who used to be a cop, I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's the guy who's working against. Must be one of the other guys who I've known for 25 years.
His hand
Not
doesn't
the young
shake.
guy. So stupid.
Select your Sunday. Join us. 5:45 Sunday, where we'll be talking this and the college basketball selection. We will be filling out brackets.